Tonight, as you lie there in the quiet, I want you to let the outer world grow dim. Let the day recede from you. Let the room become less important. Let the body begin to feel heavy, not with sorrow, not with burden, but with release. There is nothing now that you need to hold together with force. There is nothing now that you need to chase through the night. There is nothing now that requires your nervous effort, your pleading, your argument, or your fear. Allow the breath to slow. Allow the hands to rest. Allow the jaw to loosen. Allow the shoulders to descend as though a weight you have carried for many years is no longer required of you in this moment. The world may still appear to be what it was today. The same circumstances may still seem to stand around you. The same questions may still try to enter the mind. But tonight you are not here to fight circumstances. You are not here to persuade the visible world. You are not here to beg the shadow to move. Tonight you will not beg the world to change. There is a command deeper than pleading. There is an authority quieter than shouting. There is a power within man that does not argue with life, because it knows life is always answering. But most men do not know this. They think a command must be loud. They think power must be tense. They think to command life means to push, to strain, to force, to make something happen by the pressure of the will, and so they exhaust themselves. They command from fear, and then wonder why fear returns to them wearing new garments. They command by worry. They command by panic. They command by saying inwardly, I do not have it. They command by checking the world again and again for evidence. They command by asking, when will it happen? They command by feeling late, forgotten, rejected, unsupported, unseen. And because consciousness is faithful, life replies not to what they say they want, but to what they have accepted themselves to be. This is the mystery I want you to understand tonight. Every man is commanding, whether he knows it or not. Every state of being is a command. Every accepted I am is an instruction given to life. The poor man commands lack when he inwardly accepts, I am poor. The lonely man commands distance when he inwardly accepts, I am unwanted. The anxious man commands uncertainty when he inwardly accepts, I am not safe. The struggling man commands struggle when he inwardly accepts, life is hard for me. Not because God is cruel, not because life is punishing him, not because some power outside of him has decided against him, but because consciousness is creative. Consciousness says yes to the state it inhabits. Consciousness does not ask whether you meant it. It does not pause to judge whether the state is good or bad. It simply receives what you are inwardly accepting, and the world becomes the answer. When consciousness accepts, life obeys. Now let those words move slowly through you. When consciousness accepts, life obeys. This does not mean life obeys the anxious wish. It does not mean life obeys the nervous phrase spoken while the heart still trembles in unbelief. It does not mean life obeys the lips while the inner man dwells in contradiction. Life obeys consciousness accepted. Life obeys the state that you consent to be. The hidden command is not spoken by the lips. It is accepted by the inner man. This hidden command is not a spell. It is not a secret arrangement of words. It is not a phrase shouted into space. It is not a desperate statement repeated with clenched hands, hoping that if it is said enough times, the world will finally listen. The world is already listening. It has always listened. The question is not whether life hears you. The question is, what are you saying in the depth of yourself? For the deepest speech is not made of words. It is made of being. The deepest command is not what you say in a moment of effort. It is what you are when the effort falls away. It is the feeling you return to when the day is done. It is the identity that seems most natural in your own heart. It is the quiet conclusion you have accepted about yourself and your world. That is why tonight is so sacred. Because as the body grows heavy, as the breath slows, as the senses soften, as the sharp edges of the day begin to dissolve, you are approaching the place where a new command may be given. Not with violence, not with strain, not as one begging the heavens to make an exception, but as one who finally turns inward and remembers where the true authority has always been. The command is given when you dare to be inwardly what you desire to become outwardly. If you desire love, the command is not, please let me be loved. The command is, I am loved. But not as a sentence only, as a dwelling place, as a felt reality, as the inward acceptance that being loved belongs to you now. If you desire supply, the command is not, please send me enough. The command is, I am supplied, not with noise but with relief, not with force but with the calm breath of one who no longer stands outside provision. If you desire peace, the command is not, please take fear from me. The command is, I am peace. If you desire success, the command is not, please let the world approve of me. The command is, I am established. I belong. I am the one who is accepted in the fulfilled role. Do you feel the difference? One begs, the other assumes. One reaches outward, the other returns inward. One confesses absence, the other accepts being. And the moment the inner man accepts the fulfilled state, the command has been given. Most people spend their nights repeating old commands. They do not know they are doing it. They lie down and rehearse the day's disappointments. They lie down and speak inwardly with people who are not there. They lie down and argue with circumstances. They lie down and imagine what they fear. They lie down as the one who is still waiting, still lacking, still needing proof, still uncertain whether good can come. Then they fall asleep in that state, and sleep carries the command into the deep. Then morning comes, and they say, why does the same life return? It returns because the same self went to sleep. It returns because yesterday's command was planted again. It returns because the inner man accepted the old order, and life, faithful as ever, obeyed. But tonight, you are not going to sleep in the old order. Tonight, you will not take fear as your final companion. You will not take lack as your last thought. You will not take rejection as your inner name. You will not take struggle into the depths and ask sleep to multiply it. Tonight, you are learning to give another command, a hidden command, a silent command, a command so quiet that the outer mind may barely notice it, and yet so deep that life must answer. Let the body become still enough to receive this. There is no need to sit upright in strain. There is no need to force the mind into silence. Let the mind soften by listening. Let the body become the temple in which the command is accepted. The command is not given by tension. It is not given by effort. It is given by inward consent. I am. That is the beginning of all command. Before you say what you are, you are. Before any desire appears, you are. Before any problem is named, before the world tells you who it thinks you are, you are. This simple awareness, this silent knowing of being, is the creative center. And whatever you join to it, you give life. If you say, I am waiting, and feel it true, waiting becomes your command. If you say, I am forgotten, and feel it true, forgetfulness becomes your command. If you say, I am not enough, and feel it true, limitation becomes your command. But if tonight, in the softness before sleep, you dare to say inwardly, I am the one who has, and you let that become a feeling, then another command is given. Not to a distant power, not to a separate God, not to a world outside you, but to the deep of your own being, where all worlds begin. The hidden command is the accepted I am. It is the inner man saying, this is who I am now, and no longer arguing with it. It is not trying to become, it is being. It is not asking permission, it is accepting identity. It is not demanding that life prove itself first. It is moving into the state and allowing life to follow. When consciousness accepts, life obeys. So tonight, if the mind asks, what must I do? Answer softly, I must be. If the mind asks, how will it happen? Answer softly, the state contains the way. If the mind asks, when will it come? Answer softly, the command is given now. If the mind asks, what if nothing changes? Answer softly. The reflection follows the accepted state. Do not argue with the mind. It has been trained by appearances. It has learned to think from evidence. It believes that what it sees is cause, but you are now learning that what you see is effect. The cause is within. The command is within. The change begins within. And because the change begins within, you do not need to exhaust yourself trying to command life from the outside. Let the outer world grow unimportant for a while. Let the room fade a little more. Let the breath slow a little more. Let the body sink deeper into the bed. The world of appearances may continue for the moment, but it is not your master. It is not your source. It is not the power that decides your destiny. It is the answer, not the command. The command is given in consciousness. The command is given in being. The command is given when the inner man accepts the state of the wish fulfilled. Tonight, you will not beg the world to change. You will not plead with circumstances. You will not chase signs through the darkness. You will not take desperate action in the imagination, trying to force doors open. You will enter the fulfilled state quietly, and that will be your command. If your wish were fulfilled, what would you be? Not what would you do first, not who would you tell, not how would you prove it. What would you be? Would you be relieved? Would you be calm? Would you be loved? Would you be supplied? Would you be free? Would you be peaceful? Would you be certain? Would you be one who rests there? That is where the command begins. In the feeling of being, in the quiet acceptance of the identity that belongs to the fulfilled wish. The command is given when you dare to be inwardly what you desire to become outwardly. Dare, then gently, not with noise, not with pressure, not with forced emotion. Dare softly, dare in the dark. Dare as the body grows heavy. Dare as the breath becomes slow. Dare as the outer world loses its hold upon you. Dare to feel, even for one moment, that your wish is no longer far away. Dare to feel that it has entered you as identity. Dare to feel that you are now the one who has. You do not need to hold this with violence. A true command does not tremble. A true command is not anxious. A true command does not keep looking over its shoulder to see whether life has heard. It knows, it rests, it allows the deep to receive it. Let this be the first movement of the night. The world is not being begged. The world is being answered from within. The lips do not need to shout. The inner man only needs to accept. The wish is not chased. The wish is assumed. The command is not outside. The command is I am. And as you listen, and as the body softens, and as the mind grows quieter, let this simple truth sink beneath the surface. When consciousness accepts, life obeys. Not because you force it, not because you struggle, not because you convince the world, but because consciousness is the only reality, and the world is its faithful expression. Tonight, the command is given within, silently, deeply, naturally. I am the one who has. I am the one who receives. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. I am the one life now answers. Let the words fade if they must. Let the feeling remain. Let the body carry the meaning. Let the breath become quiet with. Let the inner man accept it. And if sleep comes near, do not resist it. Sleep is not taking you away from the command. Sleep is carrying the command deeper. Rest now in the mystery of this hidden authority. Rest in the sacred stillness where the true order is given. Rest as one who no longer begs, no longer chases, no longer fears that life has forgotten him. Life has not forgotten you. Life is listening. And tonight you are learning what to say without words. Now, as you rest a little deeper, I want you to understand why so many men remain waiting when they could be free. They wait for the world to move first. They wait for a sign. They wait for the letter. They wait for the face to soften, for the door to open, for the account to change, for the body to feel different, for the road ahead to become clear. And because they wait for the outer world to give them permission to change within, they remain bound to the very condition they wish to leave. This is the great reversal of the law. Man looks outward and says, when I see it, I will believe it. But I tell you, when you believe it, when you accept it, when you enter it inwardly, then you will see it. The world you see is not the command, it is the reply. Let this be received slowly. The world you see is not the command, it is the reply. The thing outside you is not speaking first, it is answering. It is answering the state that has already been accepted. It is answering the identity you have worn. It is answering the feeling you have carried as true. And yet, not knowing this, man spends his life speaking to the reply, fighting the reply, fearing the reply, worshipping the reply, begging the reply to become different while he remains the same inwardly. If a man stands before a mirror with sadness upon his face, he may plead with the reflection to smile. He may command the glass, he may threaten it. He may polish it, move it, cover it, uncover it, stand nearer to it, step farther from it, but the reflection cannot move first. It cannot smile until the face smiles. It cannot soften until the face softens. It cannot change until the one before it changes. And so it is with your world. The reflection cannot move first. This is not a punishment. It is not a cruel arrangement. It is perfect mercy. Because if the reflection could move first, you would forever be at the mercy of shadows. But because the reflection must follow, you are free. You are free to change the face. You are free to change the state. You are free to change what consciousness has accepted. The mirror is faithful, and its faithfulness is your liberation. The bank is not the command, it is the reply. The relationship is not the command, it is the reply. The letter that comes or does not come is not the command, it is the reply. The letter that comes or does not come is not the command, it is the even the road ahead, with all its seeming openings and closings, is not the command. It is the reply to the state from which you are living. And because men do not know this, they anxiously watch the reply. They look at the bank and say, now I know whether I am supplied. They look at another person and say, now I know whether I am loved. They look at a letter and say, now I know whether I am chosen. They look at the body and say, now I know whether I am whole. They look at the road ahead and say, now I know whether life is with me. But this is to let the shadow name the substance. This is to let the echo decide the voice. Do not command the shadow. Change the substance. A shadow has no life of its own. It stretches, shortens, darkens, and disappears according to the movement of that which casts it. If you turn from the substance and wrestle with the shadow, you will exhaust yourself and accomplish nothing. Yet this is what men do with circumstances. They say, I must fix this outer condition before I can feel free. But the outer condition is shadow. The inner state is substance. Change the substance, and the shadow must obey. You may have tried to change shadows for many years. You may have tried to change people while still feeling yourself unwanted. You may have tried to change money while still feeling yourself poor. You may have tried to change opportunity while still feeling yourself excluded. You may have tried to change the body while still feeling fear as your most natural companion. And because the state remained unchanged, the shadow returned again and again, perhaps wearing a different shape, but carrying the same message. The outer world is always answering what the inner man has accepted. This is why the same pattern can appear through different people, different places, different events. It is not that life has selected you for suffering. It is that consciousness, being faithful, continues to express the state accepted within. Change the state, and the pattern begins to lose its authority. Change the inner man, and the outer reply begins to change its language. The echo cannot speak before the voice. If you stand in a valley and cry out, the echo returns what you have given. It may return it with delay. It may return it softened or altered by distance, but it returns your own voice. The unawakened man hears the echo and fears it. He thinks the echo is original. He says, life has spoken against me. But the awakened man listens more deeply and says, this is an echo. I must change the voice. So tonight, do not fear the echo. Do not worship it. Do not take it as final. The echo may still be repeating an old cry. The mirror may still be showing. The shadow may still be shaped by an old position of consciousness. But if you change the cause, the effect must follow. The reflection cannot move first. Let this free you from checking. The one who checks the world every hour has forgotten the law. He is asking the reflection to reassure the face. He is asking the shadow to reveal whether the substance has moved. He is asking the echo to speak before the voice, and this checking, if done from fear, becomes another command. It says, I am not sure. I do not yet have. I must look outside to know who I am. And life, always faithful, continues to answer uncertainty. But the one who knows the law does not need to check in the same way. He may see the world, yes. He may attend to life, yes. He may handle his affairs, speak with men, open letters, walk roads, make choices, but inwardly he does not ask appearances to give him identity. He knows appearances are replies. He knows that the outer world, though convincing to the senses, is never the source. Now this does not mean you deny what appears. Denial is often fear in disguise. I am not asking you to say that a shadow is not a shadow. I am asking you to know it is a shadow. That is entirely different. You may see an outer condition plainly and still refuse to make it cause. You may recognize an unpaid bill, an unanswered letter, a cold conversation, a closed door, a tired body, and still say inwardly, this is not my master, this is not the command, this is only a reply to a state that I no longer need to occupy. There is dignity in that. There is power in that. There is peace in that. The world you see is not the command, it is the reply. When a man believes the world is the command, he becomes a servant of events. He rises in the morning and asks life who he is. If the news is pleasant, he feels safe. If the letter is kind, he feels loved. If the money is present, he feels supplied. If the body is quiet, he feels well. If another praises him, he feels worthy. But if these things shift, his identity shifts with them. He is ruled by replies. But the awakened man reverses this. He does not ask life who he is. He tells life who he is by accepting. He says, not with arrogance, not with strain, but with inward authority, I am supplied. Then the world must learn to reply. He says, I am loved. Then the world must learn to reply. He says, I am free. Then the world must learn to reply. He says, I am whole. Then the world must learn to reply. He says, my wish is fulfilled in consciousness. Then the world must arrange its answer. Do not misunderstand me. This answer may not appear in the moment you expect or in the manner your waking mind has planned. The shadow follows according to law, but the road by which it follows is often hidden from the outer man. This is why faith is necessary. Not blind faith in a distant power, but confidence in the creative nature of consciousness. Confidence that the inner movement is cause. Confidence that the accepted state cannot remain barren. If you plant a seed in the soil, you do not shout at the ground every hour. You do not dig it up at dawn and again at noon to see whether it has obeyed you. If you do, you disturb the very process you claim to trust. So it is with assumption. Once the state is accepted, leave the seed in the deep. The outer world will translate it. Your work is not to force the translation. Your work is to remain faithful to the command within. Most men disturb their own seed by checking. They enter the fulfilled state for a moment, and then they look outward and say, where is it? That question pulls them back into absence. They feel loved for a moment, and then they examine another's behavior for proof. They feel supplied for a moment, and then they look at the world with fear. They feel peace for a moment, and then they ask whether the peace will last. In doing so, they leave the cause and return to the effect. Tonight, let that habit dissolve. Let the body understand that it does not need to lean toward the mirror. Let the eyes rest because there is nothing now to inspect. Let the chest soften because the outer world is not being asked to speak first. Let the breath slow because the command is not in the shadow. The command is in consciousness. Do not command the shadow. Change the substance. If you desire love, do not spend this night commanding another person in imagination as though they were the cause. Do not beg, persuade, rehearse arguments, or imagine desperate conversations. Go to the substance. Become inwardly loved. Become chosen. Become secure. Feel the self that no longer begs for affection, because affection is natural to it. Then life will answer that state through its own appointed channels. If you desire money, do not spend this night fighting figures in the mind. Do not command coins and paper as though they were independent powers. Go to the substance. Become inwardly supplied. Feel the relief of provision. Feel the quiet dignity of one who can meet what must be met. Feel the breath of sufficiency. Then the outer world will answer. If you desire success, do not command applause. Do not wrestle with the faces of men. Go to the substance. Become established inwardly. Become the one who belongs in the fulfilled role. Feel recognition as natural. Feel your own worth before the world names it. Then the world must answer. If you desire healing or peace, do not command the body from fear. Do not study the shadow with dread. Go to the substance. Enter the state of wholeness. Enter the state of ease. Let the body become the reply to a deeper peace. Let the inner man accept safety. Then life must answer in its own lawful way. The outer world is always answering what the inner man has accepted. This is why tonight, in the darkness, you are being invited to stop waiting for permission. You do not need the mirror to smile before you smile. You do not need the echo to speak before you choose the voice. You do not need the shadow to move before you shift the substance. You do not need the visible fact to change before you enter the invisible cause. The invisible cause is yours now. It is here in awareness. It is here in the quiet I am. It is here in the state you dare to accept before sleep. The senses may object. They often do. They may say, but look at what is. And you may answer gently, I see it, but I do not worship it. They may say, but the world has not changed. And you may answer, the world is the reply, and the reply follows the command. They may say, but there is no proof. And you may answer, the proof begins within. They may say, but I feel the old fear. And you may answer, then I will return to the state I choose. Do not argue harshly. Harshness belongs to struggle. Simply return. Return from shadow to substance. Return from echo to voice. Return from reflection to face. Return from circumstance to consciousness. Return from waiting to being. There is immense relief in this return. For if the outer world were cause, you would have to control everything. You would have to control every person, every road, every event, every condition, every hour. But if consciousness is cause, then your work is inward. It is sacred, simple, and immediate. You may begin now. You may begin in this bed. You may begin with the breath slowing and the body growing heavy. You may begin before the world has changed, one visible thing. And that is why the law is merciful. It does not require you to wait for circumstances to grant you freedom. It asks you to assume freedom, and circumstances must follow. It does not require you to wait for love to appear before you feel loved. It asks you to enter the state of being loved, and life must answer. It does not require you to wait for supply before you feel supplied. It asks you to accept provision as identity, and the world must arrange. The reflection cannot move first, so let the need to check fade a little. Let the old impulse to look outward lose its strength. Let the mind stop asking the shadow for instructions. Tonight, you are not consulting the reply. You are giving the command. You are not waiting for the echo. You are choosing the voice. You are not begging the reflection. You are becoming the substance. The world you see is not the command, it is the reply. And if it is the reply, then the reply can change. If it is the shadow, then the shadow can change. If it is the echo, then the echo can change. But it changes by law, not by desperation. It changes when the inner man accepts another state. It changes when consciousness stops repeating the old command. It changes when you enter the fulfilled wish and allow it to become your inward truth. Now, as you continue to listen, let this truth become not merely an idea, but a comfort. You do not have to force the world tonight. You do not have to solve the road ahead. You do not have to inspect tomorrow. You do not have to gather evidence before you rest. You need only return to the source. The source is within. The command is within. The cause is within. And the world, faithful as a shadow, faithful as a mirror, faithful as an echo, will answer what the inner man has accepted. So rest now, not as one waiting for life to move first, but as one who knows where movement begins. Rest as one who has turned from the shadow and touched the substance. Rest as one who no longer asks the reflection to lead. Rest as one who gives the hidden command in consciousness and trusts the reply to come. For when the state is accepted, the answer has already begun. Now that the outer world has been placed where it belongs, not as cause but as reply, we may ask the question more deeply. What is this hidden command? What is the silent order that life obeys? What is it within man that speaks without sound, moves without hands, and shapes the world without outward force? You may think at first that the command must be a phrase. You may think it is a sentence to be repeated in the mind. You may think it is something one says again and again until the heavens are persuaded. But I tell you, the hidden command is not a magic phrase. It is not a formula. It is not shouting at life. It is not pleading with the invisible. It is not repeating words with fear beneath them. It is not forcing belief while the heart trembles in contradiction. The hidden command is far deeper than words. It is the inward I am, joined to the desired state. It is identity accepted. It is the silent decision, I am the one who has. Let this be understood gently, because if you grasp it, even faintly, you will begin to see your entire life differently. You have been commanding all along. You may not have known it. You may have believed you were merely reacting to life, merely describing what happened, merely telling the truth about your circumstances. But no man merely reacts. No man merely describes. Every reaction accepted as self becomes a command. Every description believed becomes a command. Every feeling of this is who I am becomes a command. You are always commanding, even when you think you are merely reacting. When a man says inwardly, I am poor, and feels the weight of that identity, he is not simply reporting what he sees. He is commanding lack to continue. When he says, I am unwanted, and accepts it as his inner name, he is not simply remembering old wounds. He is commanding rejection to return. When he says, I am unlucky, and feels it to be the pattern of his life, he is not making an observation. He is selecting a state. When he says, I am waiting, and sleeps in the feeling of delay, he is giving an order to time itself. Not because the words themselves have power apart from consciousness. Words are servants. The state is master. A man may say, I am rich with his lips, and still inwardly be faithful to poverty. Another may say nothing at all, and yet walk in the quiet certainty of being supplied. Which one has commanded? Not the one with louder speech, but the one with accepted identity. Every accepted I am is a command. Before every condition, there is I am. Before wealth or poverty, before love or abandonment, before freedom or bondage, before peace or fear, there is this simple awareness of being. I am. This is the name of God within man. This is the creative center. This is the living power. And whatever you attach to it in feeling, you give authority to express in your world. Wealth. If you If you say I am behind and consent to it, delay becomes a command. If you say I am forgotten and consent to it, neglect becomes a command. But if you dare to join I am to the fulfilled state, if you dare to say inwardly, not as a hope, but as being, I am chosen, I am supplied, I am loved, I am free, I am the one whose wish is fulfilled, then you have given a different command. The command is given when the identity is accepted. This is why so many repeat words and feel no change. They are trying to use words to climb into a state, but they never enter the state. They say, I am loved, while secretly dwelling in abandonment. They say, I am wealthy, while inwardly worshipping lack. They say, it is done, while continuing to ask when. They say, I believe, while still asking the outer world to prove it first. The lips move, but the inner man remains in the old house, and life obeys the inner man. Life obeys the identity you consent to. This is not said to make you afraid of your thoughts. Fear would only become another command if accepted. I say this to make you aware. You do not need to be frightened by every passing thought. A passing thought is not your master. A shadow across the mind is not necessarily your identity. But the state you dwell in, the state you return to, the state you agree with, the state that feels like me, that is the command. You may have a fearful thought and not make it yours. You may hear the old voice and not obey it. You may feel the old habit rise and still choose another dwelling. Freedom begins when you realize you are not every passing movement of the mind. You are the one who selects. You are the one who consents. You are the one who says, this I accept as myself, or this I lay aside. The hidden command is the state you stop arguing with. When a state is still strange to you, you argue with it. If you imagine being loved, but inwardly say, no, not me, you are arguing with love. If you imagine being supplied, but the body says impossible, you are arguing with supply. If you imagine peace, but the mind insists, I am always anxious. And as long as you argue with the fulfilled state, you have not accepted its command. But there comes a moment, perhaps quietly, perhaps only for a breath at first, when the argument weakens. You feel the state and do not reject it. You enter the idea of being chosen, and it does not feel entirely foreign. You enter the feeling of being supplied, and the body does not resist so violently. You enter the state of your wish fulfilled, and something within says, yes. That yes is powerful. That yes is the beginning of command. The hidden command is the state you stop arguing with. Let this night help you stop arguing. You do not need to debate with your old life. You do not need to present reasons to your former self. You do not need to convince the senses. You do not need to stand before the mirror and explain why the face has changed. You only need to accept the state within. Let it become less strange. Let it become more intimate. A command in consciousness is not like a command among men. Among men, command often sounds like authority raised in the voice. It may be sharp, loud, and outward. But in the kingdom of consciousness, command is quiet acceptance. The deeper the acceptance, the less noise is needed. A king does not shout to know he is king. A man at home does not shout to prove the house is his. One who is loved does not beg love to remember him every hour. Therefore, do not be deceived by the softness of this work. The mind that has worshipped effort may say, surely this is too gentle. Surely a command must be dramatic. Surely I must feel great force. No. Force often confesses separation. The one forcing still believes the thing is outside. The one accepting has entered. The command is not the pressure you apply to life. The command is the state you occupy so completely that life must. You are always commanding, even when you think you are merely reacting. Think of how often man uses the creative name carelessly. I am tired of this. I am always the one who suffers. I am never chosen. I am not good with money. I am trapped. I am afraid. I am unlucky. I am alone. I am too late. He says these things as though he is merely describing his condition. But the I am does not merely describe. It creates. It joins consciousness to a state, and once joined, that state begins to produce its world. Now I do not tell you this, so you will become tense and watch every word like a frightened guard. That too is bondage. I tell you so that you will become reverent with identity. You do not need to fear words. You need to choose being. If an old sentence rises, let it pass. If an old identity speaks, do not answer as though it were final. You may say inward, I now accept another. Formerly, you may have commanded delay. Now you accept fulfillment. Formerly, you may have commanded lack. Now you accept supply. Formerly, you may have commanded rejection. Now you accept being chosen. Formerly, you may have commanded struggle. Now you accept ease. Formerly, you may have commanded fear. Now you accept peace. This is not pretending. Pretending is when a man speaks what he does not enter. Assumption is when he enters a state and allows it to be true in consciousness. The outer world may not yet have caught up, but consciousness has moved, and consciousness is cause. Life obeys the identity you consent to. The question then is not whether you command. You are already commanding. The question is, what do you command? What identity have you consented to? What state do you allow to feel like you? What feeling do you carry into sleep as your truth? What inner name do you answer to when the world grows quiet? If you answer to the one who never receives, life will reply. If you answer to the one who is always waiting, life will reply. If you answer to the one who is unwanted, life will reply. But if tonight, even gently, you begin to answer to the one whose wish is fulfilled, life must reply to that also. Do not say, how can I command such a thing? You command by being. You command by allowing the fulfilled state to be your inward dwelling. You command when you no longer stand outside your desire, asking whether you may enter. You command when you step into the state and say quietly, this is who I am now. Let the command be simple. I am the one who has, not I will be one day, not I hope to be soon, not I am trying to become. I am the one who has. If the desire is love, if the desire is peace, I am the one who rests. If the desire is success, I am the one who belongs. If the desire is healing, I am the one who is whole. If the desire is freedom, I am the one who is free. These are not merely affirmations, they are doors, but you must enter them. Do not stand outside the door repeating the name of the room. Enter the room. Feel what it is to be there. Feel the air of it. Feel the posture of it. Feel how the body changes when the state is accepted, even for a moment. The hidden command is not in the words alone. The words are only the cup. The feeling is the wine. The words are only the doorway. The state is the room. The words are only the garment. The identity is the body that wears it. This is why I ask you tonight to become very still within, not rigid, still. There is a difference. Rigidity belongs to effort. Stillness belongs. Let the body grow heavier. Let the mind stop trying to produce something spectacular. A true command may come as a quiet settling, a gentle certainty, a small but unmistakable acceptance. Perhaps it says only, yes, yes, I am loved. Yes, I am supplied. Yes, I am chosen. Yes, it is fulfilled. Yes, this is mine in consciousness. That yes may be the hidden command. That yes, if accepted, is greater than 1,000. For one accepted state is more creative than many unaccepted words. Every accepted I am is a command, and every rejected I am loses its power when you stop wearing it. You are not bound to the old command. You are not condemned by yesterday's identity. You are not imprisoned by what you formerly accepted. The command can change because consciousness can change. The state can change because you can move. The inner man can leave one dwelling and enter. And when he enters another, life begins to answer a new master. Tonight, as sleep approaches, you are not being asked to force belief. You are being asked to consent to identity. There is no need to strain. The deeper mind does not require violence. It receives the state you give it. Give it the state of the wish fulfilled. Give it the quiet I am joined to completion. Give it the feeling that you are already the one for whom this is true. If the old state returns, it is only an old command looking for your agreement. Do not give it your agreement. Let it pass like a sound heard from a distant street. You do not have to follow every sound. Return to the quiet command within. I am the one who has. I am the one who receives. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. I am the one life answers now. Let these not be forced. Let them be entered. Let them become softer as you repeat them. Let the words lose. Let the body understand. Let the inner man accept. The hidden command is the state you stop arguing with. So stop arguing, if only for this moment. Do not argue with love. Let it be yours within. Do not argue with supply. Let it be natural within. Do not argue with peace. Let it be permitted within. Do not argue with success. Let it fit you within. Do not argue with the wish fulfilled. Let it become your inner fact. Consent to the one who has. Consent to the one who no longer begs. Consent to the one who sleeps in possession. Consent to the one who carries the command, not in loud speech, but in quiet being. And as you rest, understand this: you have never been powerless. You were simply commanding unconsciously. Now you are learning to command consciously. You are learning to choose the I am you carry. You are learning that the deepest order you ever give is the self you accept as true. The night is listening. The deep is open. The command is not far. It is not above you. It is not outside you. It is the silent union of I am and the wish fulfilled. And when that union is accepted, life begins to obey. Now we must look gently at the command that most men give without knowing they are giving it. I call it false, not because it has no power, but because it speaks against what you truly desire. It is the command of fear. It is the command of desperation. It is the order a man gives to life when he forgets who he is and allows appearances to define him. And I want you to hear me tenderly here, because this is not a teaching of blame. I do not say these things so you will accuse yourself. I do not say them so you will become afraid of your own mind. That would only be another form of bondage. I say them so you may awaken gently and begin to withdraw your consent from states that have never truly served you. Fear is a command when it is accepted as truth. Not every passing fear is a command. Do not misunderstand me. A thought may pass through the mind like a bird across the sky, and if you do not build it a nest, it has no home in you. A feeling may rise from habit, from memory, from the old self, and still it need not become your identity. But when fear is accepted, when fear is believed, when fear becomes the state you sleep in, speak from, breathe from, and return to, then fear has become a command. A man may desire abundance, and yet command lack all day long, not with his lips, but with the feeling of being poor. He may say, I want money, I want freedom, I want provision, but inwardly he may walk as one hunted by insufficiency. He may measure his life from the feeling that there is never enough. And although his lips ask for supply, his accepted state says, I am poor. That accepted state is the command. A woman may desire love and yet command rejection, not because she wants rejection, but because she feels unwanted, as though it were her natural identity. She may hope to be chosen, hope to be remembered, hope to be cherished, but beneath that hope there may be a quiet ache that says, I am the one who is not preferred. I am the one who must wait outside the heart of another. And because consciousness is faithful, life begins to reply to that hidden assumption. Another may desire movement, fulfillment, and arrival, and yet command delay by asking inwardly, when? When will it happen? When will I receive? When will the door open? When will life answer me? Now the question may seem innocent, but if it is filled with fear, I do not have it. I am still waiting. The wish is ahead of me, not within me. And so the question itself becomes a command of postponement. Another may desire ease and yet command struggle by assuming life is hard. He may say, nothing comes easily to me. I must fight for everything. I am always burdened. I am always behind. Life opens for others, but for me it resists. And then, because that state is accepted, he meets resistance. The world becomes the echo of his inward difficulty. Not because the world hates him, but because he has accepted struggle as normal. Another may desire to be heard, remembered, answered, and loved, and yet command silence by feeling forgotten. He may lie in bed and imagine no one answering, no one returning, no one noticing, no one caring. He may carry the feeling of being invisible so deeply that even before life speaks, he has already assumed its silence. And what do you see? These are commands, but they are false commands. They do not express your true desire. They express the fear surrounding your desire. They do not say what you want. They say what you have accepted as likely, normal, or true. And life does not answer desire alone. Life answers consciousness. Desperation declares absence. This is one of the most important truths you can understand. Desperation may seem powerful because it is intense, but desperation is not possession. Desperation says, I do not have. Desperation says, it is outside me. Desperation says, unless I force life, I will remain without. And so even when desperation wears the clothing of prayer, Even when it speaks spiritual words, it still carries the command of absence. You may pray desperately for love and inwardly command abandonment. You may affirm desperately for money and inwardly command lack. You may imagine desperately for success and inwardly command exclusion. You may seek desperately for peace and inwardly command unrest. The words may speak one thing, but the state speaks another, and the state is the true language. The subconscious does not ask whether you meant to command it. It receives what you are being. This may seem severe at first, but it is actually liberating. For if the subconscious judged you, if it questioned you, if it examined your worthiness, if it asked whether you deserved the state, then man would be in bondage to a power outside himself. But the subconscious does not judge, it receives. It receives the feeling as fact. It receives the state as instruction. It receives the accepted I am as command. If you enter sleep in lack, it receives lack. If you enter sleep in rejection, it receives rejection. If you enter sleep in delay, it receives delay. If you enter sleep in fear, it receives fear. But if you enter sleep in possession, it receives possession. If you enter sleep in love, it receives love. If you enter sleep in the quiet certainty of the wish fulfilled, it receives that also. The law is impartial. That is why it can be trusted. It does not punish fear, it reflects it. It does not reward faith as though faith were a moral virtue. It reflects. It does not condemn you for the old command. It simply shows you what has been accepted, so that you may choose again. Tonight, you are not being asked to feel shame. You are being asked to awaken. Let us become very practical and very gentle. If a man feels poor and he does not notice the feeling, he may think his problem is money, but the feeling of being poor is already a command. The figures may seem to be cause, but they are effect. The deeper command is the inner identity. I am one who lacks. So if he only fights the figures while remaining poor in consciousness, he commands the old condition again. He may work harder, worry more, calculate longer, and still the same pressure returns, because the command has not changed. If a woman feels unwanted, and she does not notice the feeling, she may think the problem is the behavior of another. But the feeling of being unwanted is already a command. It colors her perception. It shapes her inner conversations. It makes her anticipate distance. It makes her interpret silence as rejection. It makes her meet love with suspicion. And then life appears to prove what she feared. Yet the command was hidden within the state. If a man asks when, from fear, he may think he is merely seeking comfort. But the anxious when is often a command of delay. It places fulfillment outside the present. It says, I am, and because consciousness is creative, the sense of not yet becomes the atmosphere of his life. Every anxious search for proof whispers, it is not done. Let those words be received softly. Every anxious search for proof whispers, it is not done. If you check the world from peace as one who simply moves through life, that is one thing. But if you check from fear, if you search for signs because you cannot rest without them, you have returned to the old command. You are asking the effect to reassure the cause. You are asking the mirror to give you identity. You are saying, I will believe when I see. But the law says, you will see when you believe. So tonight, do not search for proof in the darkness. Do not mentally open every door to see whether life has obeyed yet. Do not call up old conversations. Do not rehearse what has not happened. Do not ask the world to confirm you before you sleep. Let the command be changed within. Fearful inner speech is still creative. This does not mean you must become frightened of inner speech. It means you must become conscious of it. Listen gently to what you have been saying to yourself. Not the polished words you speak when trying to be strong, but the quiet words beneath them. I am always waiting. I am never chosen. I cannot have this. Life is against me. It will take too long. Nothing changes for me. These are not mere complaints, if they are accepted. They are commands. But a command can be withdrawn. A false command can be replaced. An old order can be silenced by a new acceptance. You do not need to battle every fearful sentence. You need to stop giving it your identity. When fear says, I am not safe, do not argue for an hour. Return to, I am held in the fulfilled state. When lack says, I do not have enough, return to. When rejection says, I am not chosen, return to, I am loved and chosen now. When delay says, when will it happen, return to, it is done in consciousness. When struggle says, life is hard, return to, life opens naturally from the state I occupy. Do not make this return harsh. The old state may have been with you a long time. It may feel familiar. It may even feel safer than the new state, because familiarity often disguises itself. But familiar is not the same as true. Fear may be familiar, but fear is not God. Lack may be familiar, but lack is not law. Rejection may be familiar, but rejection is not your eternal name. Delay may be familiar, but delay is not your destiny. You are free to stop consenting. That is the great discovery. You may not be able, in this very moment, to change every outer fact, but you can stop calling it cause. You can stop naming yourself after it. You can stop carrying it into sleep as your final truth. You can say, gently but firmly, this is a state I have worn. I no longer accept it as myself. If the bank shows lack, you need not say, I am poor. You may say, that is an outer reply to a former state. I now accept supply. If a person seems distant, you need not say, I am unwanted. You may say, that is not my identity. You may say, the wave forms from the state I occupy. If the body feels tense, you need not say, I am fear. You may say, peace is my deeper reality, and I return to it now. Fear is a command when it is accepted as truth. So the freedom is not in never having a fear. The freedom is in not accepting fear as truth. The freedom is in seeing fear as a visitor, not a ruler. A fear may knock at the door of the mind. A thought may say, what if it does not happen? And you may answer by returning to the end, not by wrestling, but by resting. The old command often comes with urgency. It says, do something now, check now, force now, decide now, panic now. If you do not act from fear, you will lose it. But urgency is often the voice of absence, pretending to protect you. It says, it is not mine unless I grasp, and so the one who obeys urgency commands more grasping, more waiting, more instability. The fulfilled state does not have that flavor. It may move, but it does not panic. It may act, but it does not beg. It may respond, but it does not chase. The fulfilled state carries a different command. I am the one who has. I move from possession, not from lack. Tonight, you are learning to feel the difference. There is the old inner command of fear, tight in the chest, restless in the stomach, quick in the breath, always asking for proof. And there is the hidden command of fulfillment, quiet in the heart, soft in the body, steady in the breath, no longer searching the world for permission to be. One says, it is not mine. The other says, I am the one who has. One says, life must prove it. The other says, consciousness has accepted it. The other says, now in being. Let the false command grow weak tonight, not by fighting it, but by ceasing to feed it. A fire dies when no more wood is added. Fear weakens when no more belief is given. Lack weakens when no more identity is attached to it. Rejection weakens when you stop calling it yourself. Delay weakens when you stop asking time to decide what consciousness has already accepted. The subconscious does not ask whether you meant to command it. It receives what you are being. So be gently intentional with what you are being now. You are not the one who begs. You are not the one who waits helplessly. You are not the one who must command from fear. You are not the one who has to wrestle with shadows in the night. You are the one who can choose the state. You are the one who can withdraw from the old command. You are the one who can enter the fulfilled wish and allow that to be the final word. If fear says, it will not happen, do not answer with panic. Answer with being. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. If lack says, there is not enough, do not answer with calculation. Answer with being. I am supplied. If rejection says, you are not chosen, do not answer with pleading. Answer with being. I am loved. If delay says, when, do not answer with impatience. Answer with being. If struggle says, life is hard, do not answer with more struggle. Answer with being. Life moves according to the state I accept. Let these answers become slower and softer as the night deepens. You are not trying to shout down fear. You are allowing fear to lose its throne. You are no longer crowning it as truth. You are no longer giving it the sacred name, I am. That name belongs to the state you choose. The false command of fear. The moment it is seen, it begins to lose its secrecy. The moment you recognize, I have been commanding through this fear, you are no longer entirely asleep. And the moment you are awake, you can choose. You can choose again and again and again, without violence. There is no shame in this. You are learning the law. You are discovering that your inner state has been creative all along. This discovery is not a condemnation. It is a key. If fear could command, if lack could command, supply can command. If rejection could command, love can command. If delay could command, fulfillment can command. If the old state could shape life, the new state can shape life also. Tonight, let that bring relief. You do not need to undo every fearful command of the past by force. You only need to stop sleeping in it as your truth. You only need to choose the fulfilled state now. The present acceptance, the present command is enough to begin another movement. So let the urgency soften. Let the anxious search for proof grow quiet. Let the old question when dissolve into the feeling of now. Let the body stop declaring absence. Let the breath become less hurried. Let the inner man step down from the throne of fear and sit in the seat of fulfillment. Desperation declares absence. So you need not be desperate tonight. Fear is a command when it is accepted as true. So you need not accept fear tonight. Every anxious search for proof whispers, it is not done. So you need not search tonight. The subconscious receives what you are being. So be the one who has, quietly, gently, without blame, without strain. Let the false command fade into the darkness, and let the true command rise within you, not as noise but as peace. I am supplied, I am chosen, I am loved, I am free. My wish is fulfilled in consciousness. It is done within me now. And life, faithful to the command accepted within, will answer. Now we come to the name that is before every name, the power that is before every circumstance, the awareness that is before every story you have ever told about yourself, before you were called by any earthly name, before men described you, before life seemed to place you in one condition or another, before you desired anything, before you feared anything, before you remembered anything, there was the simple, silent, undeniable truth of being. I am. Do not rush past these words because they are familiar. Men often miss the sacred because it is simple. They expect God to arrive in thunder, in ceremony, in something far above them, in something difficult to reach. But the great mystery is nearer than breath. It is the awareness by which you know that you exist. It is not outside you. It is not waiting in some distant place. It is the very fact that you are conscious of being. I am is the voice of creation within you. When you say I am, you are not merely using words. You are touching the creative center of your world. You may not have known this. You may have used the phrase carelessly for many years, attaching it to limitation, to fatigue, to fear, to waiting, to rejection, to struggle. But the power was never absent. It was only misdirected. The same creative awareness that seemed to produce lack can produce supply. The same awareness that seemed to produce fear can produce peace. The same awareness that seemed to produce delay can produce fulfillment. Before any wish, there is I am. Before the wish for love, there is I am. Before the wish for money, there is I am. Before the wish for freedom, there is I am. Before the wish for success, there is I am. Before the wish for healing, there is I am. The wish does not create itself apart from you. The wish seeks union with your sense of being. It seeks to be joined to I am. Until then, it may remain a hope, a longing, a beautiful possibility hovering at the edge of consciousness. But the moment I am becomes one with the fulfilled state, the wish is no longer merely desired. It is assumed. It is accepted. It has entered the creative name. What you attach to I am, you command into form. This must be understood tenderly, not fearfully. I do not tell you this so you will become anxious over every word. Anxiety is not wisdom. Fear of your own mind is not mastery. I tell you this so you may become awake to the sacred use of identity. The name I am is creative, and whatever you consistently join to it in feeling begins to take shape in your experience. When a man says I am lacking and feels it to be true, he has not simply described his pocket or his circumstances. He has joined I am to lack. When he says I am waiting and feels himself to be one who has not yet received, he has joined I am to delay. When he says I am unwanted and accepts that as his secret name, he has joined I am to rejection. When he says I am trying and lives from the strain of not yet being, he has joined I am to effort and distance. These are commands, though he does not call them commands. He calls them facts. He calls them honesty. He calls them the truth of his life. But I tell you, they are only states accepted. and because they are accepted, consciousness expresses them. There is a vast difference between observing an appearance and accepting it as I am. You may see lack and not say I am lacking. You may see delay and not say I am waiting. You may see distance and not say I am unwanted. You may see difficulty and not say I am condemned to struggle. The senses may report a condition, but you need not marry that condition to your identity. You need not give it the holy name. This is freedom. The world may present you with an appearance, but you decide whether that appearance receives I am. The outer fact may knock at the door, but you decide whether it becomes your name. A man is not bound by what appears. He is bound by what he accepts himself to be in the presence of what appears. And tonight, as you lie in the quiet, you are learning to separate appearance from identity. The appearance may say lack, but you may say, I am supplied. The appearance may say silence, but you may say, I am heard. The appearance may say distance, but you may say, I am loved. The appearance may say delay, but you may say, I am the one who has. The appearance may say fear, but you may say, I am peace. This is not the repetition of words to cover fear. This is not a mechanical affirmation. This is not saying one thing while secretly dwelling in another. The words are not the power by themselves. The power is in the being you enter through them. The words are like a door, but the state is the room. Many stand outside the door, repeating the name of the room, and wonder why they have not entered. Enter. Do not say, I am trying. Enter, I am. There is great wisdom in that. To say, I am trying, often keeps the thing outside you. Trying may appear noble to the outer man, but inwardly it may be the confession that you are not. I am trying to be loved means I have not accepted being loved. I am trying to be wealthy means I have not accepted being supplied. I am trying to be free means freedom is still ahead of me. I am trying to believe means belief is not yet mine. The word trying, when it becomes identity, binds you to distance. Do not say I am trying. Enter I am. Enter the state directly, not violently, not arrogantly, not with outer display, inwardly, quietly, as one who remembers. If love is the wish, do not remain forever as one trying to become loved. Enter I am loved. Let the body taste what that means. Let the breath soften around it. Let the heart no longer stand begging outside the gate. If supply is the wish, do not remain forever as one trying to become supplied. Enter I am supplied. Feel the dignity, the relief, the quiet security of one who is provided for. If freedom is the wish, do not remain forever as one trying to escape. Enter I am free. Feel the inner spaciousness now. The wish comes true when I am becomes one with the fulfilled state, not when I am observes the state from afar, not when I am begs the state to approach, not when I am hopes that perhaps one day it may be permitted to enter. The wish comes true when the sense of being and the fulfilled state become one. I am loved, I am supplied, I am chosen, I am free, I am whole, I am the one who has. Again, do not hear these as phrases alone. Hear them as positions of consciousness. Hear them as places to dwell. A man may say, I am in London, and if he is truly there, the words merely report his position. But another may say the same while standing far away, and the words mean little. So when you say, I am loved, the question is not whether the sentence is beautiful. The question is, have you entered the place? When you say, I am supplied, have you moved into the state? When you say, I am the one who has, have you accepted the position inwardly? This is the sacred art. You are not trying to deceive yourself. You are no longer accepting the deception that appearances are final. You are no longer allowing the outer world to name you. You are no longer calling the shadow master. You are returning to the source. You are placing the creative name where it belongs, not upon fear, not upon lack, not upon waiting, but upon fulfillment. I am is neutral until you clothe it. It is pure being. It is limitless awareness. It waits, if I may use that word, to be defined by your assumption. And whatever garment you place upon it, consciousness begins to wear. Wear poverty long enough, and poverty feels natural. Wear rejection long enough, and rejection feels like fate. Wear delay long enough, and waiting feels like wisdom. But these garments are not your essence. They are states, and states can be removed. Tonight, you may begin to remove the old garment. Do not tear at it in panic. Do not hate yourself for having worn it. Perhaps you wore it because you did not know another way. Perhaps you inherited certain assumptions from words spoken around you, from things you experienced, from conclusions you drew in pain. But now you are being invited to remember the creative center beneath all garments. I am remains untouched. I am has never been poor, though you may have said I am poor. I am has never been abandoned, though you may have said I am abandoned. I am has never been bound, though you may have said I am trapped. The state may bind, but awareness can move. That is why I speak of salvation as awakening. You are not becoming something impossible. You are awakening from a state that had hypnotized you. You are awakening from the misuse of I am. You are awakening to the knowledge that the name you have attached to yourself has become your world, and therefore a new name, a new acceptance, a new identity must produce a new world. I am is the voice of creation within you. Let that voice become gentle tonight, not loud, not dramatic. Let it be like a deep bell heard in the soul. I am. Before the body grows heavy, I am. Before sleep takes you, I am. Before tomorrow appears, I am. Before any man approves or disapproves, I am. Before the letter comes, I am. Before the door opens, I am. Before the wish is seen, I am. And because I am is first, I do not wait for the world to decide who I am. The world is always late compared to consciousness. It shows what has been accepted. It does not determine what must now be accepted. If the world seems to say you are lacking, remember, the world is only a reply. Do not give it the name. If the world seems to say you are unwanted, remember, it is only a shadow. Do not give it the name. If the world seems to say you are waiting, remember, it is only an echo. Do not give it the name. The name belongs to awareness, and awareness may choose again. What you attach to I am, you command into form. Attach it now gently to the state of the wish fulfilled. Do not attach it to trying. Attach it to being. Do not attach it to waiting. Attach it to having. Do not attach it to fear. Attach it to peace. Do not attach it to lack. Attach it to supply. Do not attach it to rejection. Attach it to love. Do not attach it to the old story. Attach it to the fulfilled state. I am the one who has. Let this be felt slowly. I am the one who has. Not I am begging. Not I am hoping from a distance. Not I am watching the road in fear. I am the one who has. If the outer world has not yet reflected it, let it be. The reflection follows. If the senses object, let them object. They report the old. If the mind asks how, let it ask and pass. The state contains its own road. The first movement is not how. The first movement is I am. I am chosen. What does that feel like when you stop making it a performance? Perhaps it is not excitement. Perhaps it is the quiet removal of an ache. Perhaps it is the feeling that you need not stand outside love. Perhaps the breath becomes softer. Perhaps the face relaxes. Perhaps the heart stops searching for signs for a moment. That is enough. Enter that. I am supplied. What does that feel like beneath the words? Perhaps it is relief. Perhaps it is a loosening in the stomach. Perhaps it is the sense that tomorrow is not an enemy. Perhaps it is the calm of one who can meet life without panic. That is enough. Enter that. I am free. What does that feel like? Perhaps space. Perhaps lightness. Perhaps no longer needing to carry the old burden in the same way. Perhaps the body becomes less guarded. Perhaps the mind stops rehearsing chains. That is enough. Enter that. I am the one who has. This is the command of fulfillment. It may feel simple, but simplicity is not weakness. The seed is simple. The breath is simple. The dawn is simple. The law is simple. Man complicates it because he does not trust the invisible. But all visible things came first from the invisible. All form follows consciousness. All experience follows state. The wish comes true when I am becomes one with the fulfilled state. Now many will ask, how do I make it feel true? You do not force truth. You occupy the state gently and repeatedly until it becomes familiar. A room becomes familiar by being entered. A path becomes familiar by being walked. A name becomes familiar by being answered to. So tonight, begin to answer to the fulfilled name. If the old name calls, do not answer. If lack calls, do not answer. If rejection calls, do not answer. If delay calls, do not answer. If fear calls, do not answer. Let the fulfilled name be the one you answer to now. Loved, supplied, chosen, free, whole, peaceful, fulfilled, the one who has. These are not decorations for the mind. They are states of being. Allow one of them to become your own tonight. You do not need to take them all. Take the one that belongs to your wish, let it settle, let it descend from the head into the body. Let the words become feeling, let the feeling become identity, let identity become the command. For the subconscious does not receive what you admire, it receives what you accept. You may admire wealth and accept lack. You may admire love and accept abandonment. You may admire peace and accept anxiety. The admiration is not the command, the acceptance is. Therefore, do not merely admire the fulfilled state tonight. Accept it, rest in it. Let it be your inward name. I am is not a tool separate from you. I am is what you are. You are not using it as a servant. You are awakening as it. This is why the teaching is sacred. It is not a trick to get things. It is the revelation of the creative power of your own consciousness. The things are shadows of state. They come, they go, they change form. But the power by which they appear is within you. I am is that power. Use it reverently. Do not say, I am nothing. Do not say, I am forgotten. Do not say, I am helpless. Do not say, I am trying, as though trying were your home. Return instead to being, I am. Then choose the state. I am loved. I am supplied. I am chosen. I am free. I am whole. I am at peace. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. Let the words become less like statements and more like atmosphere. Let them surround you softly as sleep approaches. You need not repeat them quickly. You need not force yourself to feel. Pause after them. Let the body listen. Let the breath answer. Let the inner man test the state not with doubt but with tenderness. Can I rest here? Can I allow this? Can I stop arguing for one moment? Can I let this be my name tonight? If yes comes faintly, even faintly, receive it. The faint beginning of acceptance is more powerful than a loud performance of words. A quiet yes in consciousness may alter the course of your life more surely than 1,000 anxious declarations. For that yes joins I am to the fulfilled state. And when I am and the fulfilled state become one, creation has begun at the only level where creation truly begins. The outer world may still appear unchanged for a little while. Do not be troubled. The command has gone inward. The seed has entered the soil. The echo has not yet returned because the voice has only just spoken. Let it be. The law does not require your supervision. It requires your acceptance. Continue to be what you have accepted. Continue to answer to the new name. Continue to refuse the old identity when it asks to be worn again. You may have slept many nights as I am waiting. Tonight, sleep as I am, the one who has. You may have slept many nights as I am lacking. Tonight, sleep as I am supplied. You may have slept many nights as I am unwanted. Tonight, sleep as I am chosen. You may have slept many nights as I am afraid. Tonight, sleep as I am peace. You may have slept many nights as I am trying. Tonight, enter I am. Do not say I am trying. Enter I am. Enter the stillness before effort. Enter the awareness before the story. Enter the name before the condition. From there choose. From there attach the fulfilled state. From there command quietly. The true command begins with I am. Not I want. Not I hope. Not I need. Not I fear. I am. Then, from that holy center, let the fulfilled state be joined to you. I am the one who has. I am the one who receives. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. I am the one life now answers. Let these words slow down in you. Let them become drowsy. Let them become warm. Let them become almost wordless. For as sleep draws near, words may fade, but identity can remain. Let the identity remain. Let sleep receive not the old self, but the fulfilled self. Let the deep mind hear the sacred command of I am joined to the wish fulfilled. The wish comes true when I am becomes one with the fulfilled state. And tonight, in the silence, in the softness, in the sacred privacy of your own consciousness, that union begins. Now we must remove a misunderstanding from the mind, for the word command can easily be misheard. Many, when they hear of command, imagine tension. They imagine a will that pushes against life. They imagine a man standing before the world as though before an enemy, demanding, insisting, forcing, trying to bend circumstances by the weight of his desire. But that is not the command of which I speak. The strongest command is often the quietest. In the world of appearances, a command may be loud. A man may raise his voice, strike the table, impose his will upon another, or try to control events by pressure. But consciousness does not command in that manner. Consciousness commands by acceptance. Consciousness commands by being. Consciousness commands when the inner man stops begging for a state and begins to occupy it. You do not command by shouting at life. You command by occupying the state. Let this be received deeply, because if you misunderstand command as force, you will turn the law into another burden. You will try to make your desire come true by tightening the body, by repeating words with anxiety, by watching every thought, by struggling to believe, by fighting the outer world in imagination. And all of this, though it may seem powerful, often carries the confession that the thing is not yours. Force says it is not mine. Assumption says, I am that now. Feel the difference. Force reaches outward. Assumption rests inward. Force says something is outside me and I must seize it. Assumption says the state is mine in consciousness and the world must follow. Force trembles because it believes in separation. Assumption rests because it has entered possession. Force is the cry of the one who has not accepted. Assumption is the quiet authority of the one who has not accepted. Assumption is the quiet authority of the one who has. A king does not beg his throne. If he knows himself to be king, he sits. He does not plead with the throne to recognize him. He does not stand before it, asking whether he may be permitted to belong. His authority is not proven by the violence of his voice. It is revealed in the naturalness with which he occupies his place. So it is with the state desired. You do not beg love to make you loved. You occupy being loved. You do not beg supply to make you supplied. You occupy being supplied. You do not beg freedom to release you. You occupy being free. The command is occupancy. The command is not the effort to make something true. The command is the acceptance that it is true in consciousness now. If you must fight to hold a state, you are still outside it. If you must shout to make life obey, you still believe life is separate from you. If you must force the scene, force the feeling, force the belief, then pause gently and understand. Force is often a sign that you have not yet entered the state. You are pressing against the door instead of walking through it. This is why I say the calm inner decision is stronger than frantic effort. Frantic effort may look impressive, it may appear devoted, it may seem disciplined, but if it is born of fear, it commands fear. If it is born of lack, it commands lack. If it is born of desperation, it commands absence. The outer man may applaud effort, but the inner law responds to state. It does not ask how much strain you used. It asks, what are you conscious of being? Many men have exhausted themselves trying to command life while remaining inwardly the same. They say, I command wealth, but they feel poor. They say, I command love, but they feel unwanted. They say, I command success, but they feel unworthy. They say, I command peace, but they live in fear. And then they wonder why the command does not seem to work. But they have not commanded the state. They have only spoken words from outside the state. A true command is not spoken from absence. It is spoken, if it is spoken at all, from possession. It is not give me. It is I am. It is not please let it happen. It is done in consciousness. It is not I must make life change. It is I accept the state and life must answer. The deepest command is calm, because the deepest command comes from identity. Think of something you already know yourself to be. You do not argue for it all night. You do not strain to become it. You do not repeat it in terror, hoping it will one day be true. It is simply part of you. It has entered your sense of being. That is what you are learning to do with the wish fulfilled. Not to force it as an idea, but to accept it as self. Command is accepted being. Let that phrase settle in you. Accepted being. Not forced thinking. Not nervous repetition. Not emotional violence. Accepted being. The state you accept as yourself becomes the order given to life. It is not loud, but it is absolute. It is not dramatic, but it is creative. It is not tense, but it is powerful. You may lie quietly in bed, saying very little, and yet if you accept inwardly, I am the one who has, you have given a deeper command than hours of anxious effort. You may breathe slowly and feel, I am supplied, and that quiet acceptance may be stronger than years of desperate striving. You may rest in the warmth of being loved without begging anyone in imagination, and that state may command more surely than all the fearful actions you once believed necessary. You do not command by shouting at life, you command by occupying the state. This is why the night is so merciful. In the night, the body begins to release the habit of force. The day may have asked you to stand, to speak, to answer, to work, to choose, to carry many things, but now the body can grow heavy. The breath can slow, The outer world can recede. You do not need to push life in this moment. You do not need to hold the world together. You can enter the quiet authority of being. Let the body learn the difference between force and command. Force tightens the chest. Command rests in the chest. Force hardens the jaw. Command softens the face. Force hurries the breath. Command allows the breath. Force asks, what if it does not happen? Command says, I am that now. Force keeps looking for proof. Command abides in the accepted state. The body knows the difference. The subconscious knows the difference. Life knows the difference. And tonight, you are learning to know it too. If you desire love, do not force love. Do not lie in bed commanding another person as though your power depended upon controlling them. That is not love fulfilled. That is fear wearing the mask of command. Instead, occupy being loved. Feel the state of one who is cherished, chosen, remembered, held in affection. Not as a plea, as identity. Feel the softness of one who no longer needs to chase. That is the command. If you desire supply, do not force money. Do not imagine yourself fighting lack with clenched hands. Do not command coins and figures from panic. Instead, occupy being supplied. Feel the relief of provision. Feel the ordinary dignity of one who can meet life calmly. Feel the breath of sufficiency. That is the command. If you desire success, do not force recognition. Do not beg the world to notice you while secretly feeling unseen. Occupy being established. Feel the role as yours. Feel the respect as natural. Feel your own place within before the world names it without. That is the command. If you desire peace, do not force peace by fighting fear. A man cannot beat fear into peace. He must leave the state of fear and enter the state of peace. Let the body soften. Let the breath grow quiet. Let the mind stop proving danger. Occupy peace as being, not as a battle. That is the command. The strongest command is often the quietest. The old mind may resist this. It may say, but if I do not force, nothing will happen. That is the voice of the one who believes life is outside him. That is the voice of separation. It believes that the world must be pushed because it does not understand that the world is reflected consciousness. You do not push a reflection into changing. You change the face. You do not wrestle the echo. You change the voice. You do not command the shadow with violence. You move the substance. Force belongs to the man who still thinks the shadow is independent. Assumption belongs to the man who knows consciousness is cause. This is not passivity. Understand me clearly. I do not teach laziness. I do not teach indifference. I do not teach withdrawal from life. But action born from force and action born from assumption are not the same. The outer movement may even look similar, but the inner cause is different. One man writes a letter from panic, afraid that without it he will lose everything. Another writes a letter from clarity, because it is natural to do so from the state he occupies. One speaks from need. Another speaks from being. Another speaks from being. One moves to get. Another moves because he already is. The law reads the state. It is not deceived by the appearance of action. It knows whether your movement is a confession of lack or an expression of fulfillment. So tonight, before sleep, lay down all action born of fear. Lay down the nervous plans. Lay down the inner arguments. Lay down the imaginary conversations where you try to make someone understand, make someone return, make someone approve, make life give you what you believe is missing. That is not command, that is strain. The calm inner decision is stronger than frantic effort. What is this calm inner decision? It is not a decision of the outer will. It is not saying, I will make this happen. It is the inward acceptance. I am the one who has. It is the gentle but final movement from wanting into being. It is the moment when you no longer approach the wish as something far away, but as something accepted in consciousness. You may not feel great excitement. That does not matter. You may not feel a tremendous emotion. That does not matter. The truest command may feel like peace. It may feel like relief. It may feel like a quiet settling. It may feel like the end of argument. It may feel like the body no longer needing to lean forward. It may feel like the mind no longer asking the world for permission. Do not despise peace. Peace may be the sound of command in the depths. The world has taught men to admire noise. It has taught them to think that power must be seen, heard, defended, displayed. But the greatest powers are silent. The seed grows in silence. The heart beats in silence. Sleep restores in silence. The stars move in silence. Consciousness creates in silence. Why then do you believe your assumption must be violent to be powerful? Let it be quiet. Let it be inward. Let it be accepted. Let it be yours. Force says, it is not mine. Assumption says, I am that now. When you force, you stand outside the state and press against it. When you assume, you enter the state and rest within it. When you force, you confess distance. When you assume, you collapse distance. When you force, you try to become. When you assume, you are. When you force, you ask life to move first. When you assume, you move first in consciousness and life follows. Now, as you listen, let the body itself begin to understand this teaching. You do not have to force relaxation. Forcing relaxation, a relaxed inner man may be accepting the state that controls the world. So release the false idea that you must fight life into obedience. Life is already obedient. It is obedient to the state you occupy. If you occupy fear, it answers fear. If you occupy lack, it answers lack. If you occupy love, it answers love. If you occupy fulfillment, it answers fulfillment. The question is not whether life obeys. The question is, what state are you giving it to obey? You do not command by shouting at life. You command by occupying the state. Occupy it now in the simplest way. Choose the wish. Do not chase it. Choose the state implied by its fulfillment. If your wish were fulfilled, who would you be? Let the answer come not as a sentence only, but as a feeling. I would be relieved. I would be loved. I would be supplied. I would be free. I would be peaceful. I would be secure. I would be the one who has, not by demanding, by consenting, not by emotional violence, by quiet authority. The command is given when the state is accepted. A person who has does not chase the thing. He may enjoy it, use it, honor it, appreciate it, but he does not chase it. If you are chasing, notice gently you are still feeling separation. If you are begging, notice gently you are still feeling distance. If you are forcing, notice gently you are. Return from forcing to being. Return from chasing to occupying. Return from pressure to acceptance. There is no shame in returning. Returning is the practice. The old habit of force may be strong because the world has praised it. The old habit of strain may feel familiar because you have carried it for years. But tonight you are not here to repeat the old command. You are here to learn the command of rest. Rest is not surrender to circumstances. Rest is surrender. Rest says, I no longer need to force what I have accepted. Rest says, I no longer need to beg what I am. Rest says, I no longer need to chase what is mine in consciousness. Rest says, I occupy the state, and the state will express itself. This rest is authority. This rest is not emptiness. It is full of quiet power. It is the rest of the seed in the earth. It is the rest of the fulfilled state in the subconscious. It is the rest that comes after the command has been received. The calm inner decision is stronger than frantic effort. Let that decision be made tonight, not a loud vow, not a desperate promise, a calm decision. I am that now. I am the one who has. I am the one who receives. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled in consciousness. Life obeys the state I occupy. If doubt rises, do not force it away. Forcing doubt away. If fear rises, do not wrestle with it. Let it pass. Return to the state. If the mind says nothing is happening, let it speak and pass. Return to the state. The state is the command. The state is the power. The state is the cause. Do not make this night a battle. Make it a throne room, a quiet throne room within consciousness, where the inner man sits in the place of fulfillment. No crowd is needed. No noise is needed. No proof is needed. The one who has does not chase signs. The fulfilled self does not scream at life. It abides. Abide now. Abide as loved. Abide as supplied. Abide as chosen. Abide as free. Abide as whole. Abide as one whose wish is fulfilled. The strongest command is often the quietest. Let your command become quiet enough to enter sleep. Let it become peaceful enough for the subconscious to receive. Let it become simple enough to feel true. Let it become natural enough that life may reflect it. You are not commanding by force. You are commanding by accepted being. And as the night deepens and the body grows heavier and the outer world fades, remember this: life does not need your violence. It needs your acceptance. The wish does not need your strain. It needs your identity. The world does not need you to shout. It is already listening to what you are. So be the one who has, quietly, calmly, and let the command be given in peace. Now we come to the very heart of the command. You have heard me say that the hidden command is not force. It is not shouting at life. It is not pleading with some distant power. It is not the anxious repetition of words while the inner man remains in fear. The true command is given when you enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled and accept it as your present state. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the command received by the deep. Let that be understood softly. The deep mind does not receive what you merely want. It receives what you accept. It does not receive the cry of please give it to me as possession. It receives that as wanting. It receives that as distance. It receives that as the state of one still standing outside. But when you enter the feeling of already being the one who has, the subconscious receives another instruction. It receives the silent order, make this normal. This is why I have told you so often to go to the end, not to the effort, not to the beginning, not to the struggle, not to the moment of begging, not to the bridge, to the end. For the end contains the state, the end contains the identity, the end contains the calm fact of having, and when the end is felt as true, it becomes an order to life. The end felt as true becomes an order to life. Do not command, give it to me. Command, I. There is a world of difference between these two. Give it to me may seem like a command, but it often carries the feeling of not having. It places the desire outside you. It makes life the giver and you the beggar. It keeps the wish in the future. It says, I am waiting to receive, but I am the one who has. Changes the entire position of consciousness. It is no longer a plea. It is an identity. It is no longer reaching. It is possession. It is no longer the voice. It is the voice of assumption. And the subconscious obeys the feeling of already, not the feeling of one day, not the feeling of perhaps, not the feeling of if only, not the feeling of please. Already loved, already supplied, already free, already chosen, already at peace, already established, already whole, already the one for whom the wish is fulfilled. The word already is not merely a word, it is a position. You have stopped making the wish a future event and have allowed it to become your present identity. That movement is the command. Now, many think the imaginal scene itself is the power. They become anxious about the details. They ask whether the room is clear enough, whether the voice is exact enough, whether the picture is vivid enough, whether they are doing it correctly. But the scene is only the doorway. The feeling is the command. A scene without feeling is only a picture. But a simple scene entered with the feeling of reality becomes creative. You may see very little and feel deeply. That is enough. You may hear only one sentence and feel possession. That is enough. You may imagine only a small movement of the hand, a breath of relief, a quiet moment after the wish is fulfilled. And if that moment carries the feeling of already, it is enough. The subconscious is not impressed by theatrical beauty. It is impressed by accepted reality. It does not ask whether the scene is grand. It asks what state is being accepted. If the state is lack, it receives lack. If the state is fulfillment, it receives fulfillment. If the state is waiting, it receives waiting. If the state is possession, it receives possession. Therefore, do not make this difficult. The practice is simple because the law is simple. Choose the wish. Go to the end. Feel yourself there. Accept it as now. Let the feeling become the order. If your wish is love, do not command, make someone love me. That is not the end. That is the cry of one still outside love. Command instead, I am loved. Not as a performance, not as a sentence spoken against fear, as a state. Let yourself feel the warmth of being chosen, the ease of being remembered, the quiet security of being wanted. Perhaps you imagine a simple scene, a familiar voice speaking tenderly, a hand held naturally, the peaceful sense of lying down at night knowing affection is yours. But the scene is not the command, the feeling is. The feeling says to the deep, love is normal for me now. If your wish is money or supply, do not command, give me money. Do not lie there in panic, trying to force figures to move in your mind. That is still lack speaking. Command instead, feel the relief of provision, feel the absence of dread, feel the calm of one who can meet what must be met. Perhaps you imagine paying something without fear, opening a letter with ease, or resting at night without the old pressure in the body. But again, the picture is only the doorway. The feeling is the command. The feeling says to the deep, supply is normal for me now. If your wish is peace, do not command, take fear away from me. In that cry, fear may still be. Command instead, I am peace. Enter the state in which the body no longer argues with life. Let the breath slow. Let the face soften. Let the mind stop preparing for war. Perhaps your scene is simply sitting in a quiet room after the burden has lifted. Perhaps it is walking through the day with an untroubled heart. Perhaps it is lying exactly where you are now and feeling safe. The feeling is the command. The feeling says to the deep, peace is my natural state. If your wish is success, do not command, make the world recognize me. Do not stand inwardly before men asking them to approve of you. Command instead, I am established. I belong. I am the one who is accepted in the fulfilled role. Let success be felt not as desperate applause, but as quiet place. Feel the role as yours. Feel respect as natural. Feel yourself no longer shrinking from visibility. Perhaps you hear someone say, you have done beautifully, or we are glad you are here. But the command is not in the words alone. It is in the feeling of belonging. The feeling says to the deep, this place is mine now. If your wish is healing, do not command from fear. Do not make the body an enemy. Do not lie in bed fighting sensations with anxiety. Command instead, I am whole. Enter the state of ease. Enter the feeling of the body as friend. Enter the feeling of moving through the day with more peace, more lightness, more trust. Perhaps the scene is waking refreshed, breathing gently, moving simply, no longer centered on the old concern. The feeling is the command. The feeling says to the deep, wholeness is natural for me now. If your wish is freedom, do not command, release me, as though chains had final power. Command instead, I am free. Feel spaciousness. Feel the burden absent. Feel yourself no longer defined by the thing that seemed to bind you. Perhaps the scene is nothing more than a deep breath and a quiet inner knowing. It is over, I am free now. That feeling is the order. It tells life to rearrange according to freedom. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the command received by the deep. Now understand this carefully. The wish fulfilled is not a fantasy. It is not an escape from life. The wish fulfilled is not a fantasy. It is not an escape from life. It is not a little dream you entertain while the world remains the real power. The wish fulfilled is an inner decree. It is consciousness declaring what is true at the level of cause. The outer world may not yet show it, but the outer world has never been first. The state is first, the assumption is first, the command is first, the reflection follows. When you feel the wish fulfilled, you are not pretending in the way the world uses that word. You are selecting. You are entering a state that already exists in consciousness. You are moving from one room to another in the house of being. You are no longer dwelling in I want. You are dwelling in I am. And this movement, if accepted, is creative. The subconscious obeys the feeling of already. So the question tonight is not, how do I get life to give me my wish? The question is, can I feel myself to be the one whose wish is fulfilled? Not perfectly, not with strain, not with dramatic emotion. Gently, sincerely. Can I enter the feeling, even for a moment? Can I allow the body to know what having would feel like? Can I let the mind rest in the end, instead of wandering through the how? Can I stop commanding absence and begin commanding possession? This is the simple power of the practice. You do not need to know the road. The end contains the road. You do not need to control every person. The state will move all needed things. You do not need to force the outer event. The deep receives the feeling and life begins to translate it. You do not need to convince the world. You need only accept the state within. Do not command. Give it to me. Command, I am the one who has. Let that sentence become very intimate. I am the one who has. Not as an empty affirmation, as a place to rest. If the mind asks, but where is it? Answer by returning to the feeling. If the senses say, it has not appeared, answer by returning to the state. If fear says, what if it does not come? Answer by returning to the end. The end is the command. The end felt as true is the order to life. You may say, I do not know how to feel it. Begin with relief. Relief is often the first taste of the wish fulfilled. Ask yourself, what would be relieved if this were done? Then let that part of you release a little. If you wanted love, perhaps the heart would no longer ache. Let the heart soften. If you wanted supply, perhaps the stomach would no longer tighten. Let the stomach loosen. If you wanted peace, perhaps the breath would deepen. Let the breath slow. If you wanted success, perhaps the shoulders would no longer carry the need to prove. Let the shoulders rest. This is not merely relaxation. It is the body beginning to agree with the end. And when the body begins to agree, the feeling becomes more real. When the feeling becomes more real, the subconscious receives it more deeply. When the subconscious receives it, life is ordered from within. The scene is only the doorway. The feeling is the command. So choose a doorway that is simple. Do not choose one that excites the mind but leaves the body unconvinced. Choose one you can enter. Choose one that implies completion. Choose one that feels like after, not before. After love has become secure, after supply has become normal, after peace has returned, after success has settled, after freedom is yours, after the burden has lifted. In that after, there is power. Because after does not beg, after does not chase, after does not ask when, after has received, after is the end, and the end is where the command is given. Perhaps you hear a voice saying, I am so happy for you. Feel that it is already done. Feel that love is already yours. Perhaps you see yourself calmly placing money down or signing your name with ease. Feel that supply is already yours. Perhaps you are walking through a room that belongs to your fulfilled life. Feel that you are already there. Perhaps you are sitting quietly after the fear has passed. Feel that peace is already yours. Do not stay outside the scene watching yourself. Enter it. Be there. Feel from within. Hear from within. Touch from within. Let the scene say, this is happening to me now. Then let the scene become less important than the feeling it opens. If the image fades but the feeling remains, keep the feeling. If the words fade but the state remains, keep the state. If sleep comes, let sleep take the command. The subconscious obeys the feeling of already. It does not need a long speech. It does not need many arguments. It does not need your anxiety. It receives the impression you give it. A small true impression is stronger than a long false performance. A quiet feeling of being loved is stronger than a dramatic scene filled with fear. A gentle breath of provision is stronger than frantic imaginal struggle. A calm inner decision is stronger than desperate repetition. Let the command be small enough to be real. Small does not mean weak. The seed is small. The seed contains the tree. Your imaginal scene may be small, but if it contains the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it carries the whole destiny of the state. A single phrase heard inwardly may imply the entire change. A single touch may imply love. A single breath may imply healing. A single quiet moment may imply freedom. A single feeling of already may command more than 1,000 thoughts of someday. Someday is not the command. Already is the command. Not, I will be supplied someday, I am supplied now. Not, I will be free someday, I am free now. Not, my wish will be fulfilled someday. My wish is fulfilled in consciousness now. This now is not the clock's now. It is the eternal now of being. It is the only place where creation occurs. The outer world may need what you call time to unfold, but consciousness does not need time to assume. You may enter the state now. You may give the command now. You may sleep as the one who has now. The end felt as true becomes an order to life. Let that bring you great peace. You do not have to force all the parts. You do not have to know who will move, what will happen, what road will open, what letter will arrive, what hand will help, what circumstance will turn. Your outer mind is not required to arrange the infinite. The state knows how to express itself. The deep knows how to build from the command. Life knows how. Your work is to feel the end as true. Feel it quietly. Feel it simply. Feel it as already. If the feeling is faint, do not reject it. A faint feeling accepted is better than a loud feeling forced. Let it grow familiar. Return to it. Let it be the last atmosphere of the night. The subconscious receives what you are being, not what you strain to perform. So be gently. Be fulfilled. Be the one who has. Do not command. Say it inwardly now, but do not merely say it. Enter it. I am the one who has. What changes in the breath when this is true? I am the one who has. What leaves the body when this is true? I am the one who has. What urgency dissolves when this is true? I am the one who has. What fear no longer needs to be carried when this is true? Let the answers be felt, not analyzed. Perhaps the answer is a softer chest. Perhaps it is a slower breath. Perhaps it is only the quiet permission to stop chasing for a moment. That is enough. That is the beginning of command. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the command received by the deep. Tonight, let the deep receive not the old command of wanting, but the new command of having. Let it receive not the old order of lack, but the feeling of supply. Let it receive not the old order of rejection, but the feeling of being chosen. Let it receive not the old order of fear, but the feeling of peace. Let it receive not the old order of delay, but the feeling of already. And as the body grows heavier, let the command descend beneath the words. Let it become less mental and more real, less spoken and more felt, less effort and more being. You need not hold it tightly. A true state does not need to be strangled into existence. Hold it gently as one holds something already given. I am at peace. I am whole. I am established. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. Life is receiving this command now. Let it be simple. Let it be powerful. Because it is simple. Let it be quiet. Because the deepest things are quiet. Let it be yours. Because you have entered it. And if sleep comes, allow it. For sleep will carry the feeling where waking effort cannot go. Sleep will take the silent order into the deep. Sleep will receive the state you have accepted and continue the work in hiddenness. The scene was only the doorway. The feeling is the command. The command is already, and already accepted within, becomes the world without. Now let us come to the holy usefulness of sleep. For sleep is not merely a shutting of the eyes. It is not merely a rest from the day. It is not merely the body withdrawing from labor. Sleep is a gate. Sleep is a passage. Sleep is the hour when the outer man grows quiet and the inner man becomes more easily impressed. If you understand this, you will no longer fall asleep carelessly. You will no longer carry the old state into the deep as though the night were empty. You will know that the last state accepted before sleep is a command given to the depths of your own being. Sleep carries the command beneath the surface. During the day, the senses are strong. The eyes see appearances and insist that they are final. The ears hear words and believe them to be law. The hands touch conditions and call them real. The mind looks upon the outer world and says, this is what is, this is what must be, this is what I have to deal with. And because the senses are so persuasive in the day, man often finds it difficult to accept the invisible cause. He says, how can I be supplied when I see lack? How can I be loved when I see how can I be free when I see limitation? How can I be at peace when the world appears unsettled? But at night something merciful happens. The senses weaken, the eyes close, and the visible world loses its sharpest witness. The room may still be around you, but it begins to fade in importance. The body grows heavy, and with that heaviness, the urgency of the day begins to dissolve. The breath slows, and the mind, which fought so fiercely beneath the light of day, becomes less eager. The outer facts do not vanish, but they lose some of their authority. They no longer stand before you with the same command. They become softer, more distant, less absolute. Before sleep, consciousness is soft enough to receive a new order. This is why I have always placed such great importance upon the state akin to sleep. It is that drowsy borderland where you are not fully awake and not yet lost in sleep. The body is still. The senses are relaxed. The reasoning mind is less. The inner world becomes nearer than the outer one. In that state, imagination is not so easily dismissed as fantasy. The fulfilled state can be entered more gently. The command can be given more deeply. In full waking consciousness, the mind argues. It says, but look at the facts. It says, but remember what happened. It says, but what if nothing changes? It says, but how will it come? The waking mind loves questions because questions keep it active. Questions give it the illusion of control. But the drowsy mind receives. It does not argue in the same way. It does not stand at the gate with the same weapons. It is more like fertile soil, open, quiet, ready to receive the seed that is pressed into it. This is why the command given before sleep sinks deeper than many thoughts scattered through the day. During the day, a man may think one thing in one moment and contradict it in the next. He may say, it is done, then immediately look outward and say, where is it? He may say, I am loved, then return to the old feeling of being unwanted. He may say, I am supplied, then spend the afternoon inwardly obeying lack. The day is often full of interruptions, reactions, and shifting states. But the last accepted state before sleep goes downward. It enters the quiet. It passes beneath the surface. It is carried where argument cannot easily follow. The last accepted state becomes the instruction of the night. Let that be received with reverence, not fear. I do not say it so you will become tense before sleep. Tension would be another old command. I say it so you will become tender with the last moments of the day. You would not place a precious seed on a stone and expect a harvest. You would place it in good soil, and the state akin to sleep is good soil. It is the rich inward earth. into which you may place the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Most people sleep in accidental commands. They do not choose what they give to the night. They lie down in worry. They lie down in lack. They lie down in regret. They lie down in longing. They replay the day as though its wounds must be honored before sleep. They argue with men who are not present. They rehearse conversations that have already passed. They imagine tomorrow from the same fear that governed today. They carry the feeling of being late, unwanted, poor, uncertain, or tired of life, and then they fall asleep in that state. They do not know that they have given a command. They think they have merely gone to sleep. But sleep has carried the command beneath the surface. Sleep has received worry as instruction. Sleep has received lack as identity. Sleep has received regret as truth. Sleep has received longing as the state of not having. Then morning comes, and the old world feels natural again, because the old command was planted again. Do not fall asleep commanding yesterday again. This is one of the most important instructions I can give you. Do not fall asleep commanding yesterday again. Yesterday may have shown you lack, but do not take lack into sleep as your identity. Yesterday may have shown you silence, but do not take silence into sleep as rejection. Yesterday may have shown you delay, but do not take delay into sleep as truth. Yesterday may have shown you difficulty, but do not take difficulty into sleep as your law. If you sleep in yesterday's state, you strengthen yesterday's world. The awakened person uses the night differently. The awakened person does not wait until the outer world changes to sleep in a new state. He understands that sleep is the hidden chamber where a state is accepted without the noise of the day. He does not treat the last moments before sleep as meaningless. He does not surrender them to random fear. He does not allow the mind to wander through old conditions and call it rest. He chooses. He gives the night a command. Not a loud command, not a tense command, not a desperate command, a chosen command. The awakened one sleeps in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He may not see the outer evidence yet, but he knows where evidence begins. He may not know the road, but he knows the state contains the road. He may not know the hour, but he does not worship time. He gives the command inwardly and lets sleep carry it deeper. Sleep carries the command beneath the surface. If your wish is love, do not sleep in the command of longing. Do not sleep as the one who is reaching, aching, waiting, wondering whether you are remembered. Enter, before sleep, the simple feeling of being loved. Let it. Perhaps there is no grand scene. Perhaps there is only the feeling that you are chosen, that affection belongs to you, that love is not far from you. Sleep in that. Let sleep carry that command into the deep. If your wish is supply, do not sleep in the command of lack. Do not lie there counting fears, imagining pressure, rehearsing insufficiency, or feeling hunted by tomorrow. Enter the feeling of being supplied, not as excitement, but as relief. Feel the breath, feel the body of one who is not abandoned by life. Feel the quiet dignity of provision. Sleep in that. Let sleep carry that command beneath the surface. If your wish is peace, do not sleep in the command of anxiety. Do not make fear your final companion. Do not let the body rehearse danger as though danger were God. Enter the feeling of safety. Enter the feeling of quiet. Enter the feeling that life is not against you. Let the breath become slow. Let the face soft. Let the night feel friendly. Sleep in that. Let sleep carry that command into the deep. If your wish is success, do not sleep in the command of exclusion. Do not lie down as one who is still outside, still unseen, still trying to prove, still asking whether he belongs. Enter the fulfilled role inwardly. Feel that you are established. Feel that your place is natural. Feel that recognition is not strange to you. Sleep in that. Let sleep carry that command beneath the surface. If your wish is healing, do not sleep in the command of fear toward the body. Do not make the last feeling of the night a study of what troubles you. Enter the feeling of ease, of wholeness, of the body as companion. If you cannot feel great ease, feel one gentle breath of ease. That is enough for the beginning. Sleep in that. Let sleep carry that command into the deep. The last accepted state becomes the instruction of the night. This is why the night is so powerful. Not because night has a magic separate from consciousness, but because in the night, consciousness becomes more receptive. The outer world becomes quiet enough for the mind is no longer pulled in 100 directions. You come near to the deep, and the deep receives what you are being. Now you may ask, what if I fall asleep before I feel it perfectly? Do not be troubled. Perfection is not required. Sincerity is enough. Direction is enough. A gentle turning toward the fulfilled state is enough to begin. If you fall asleep while returning to the end, that is good. If the image fades but the feeling remains, that is good. If the words become faint but the body rests more deeply, that is good. Sleep is not your enemy. Sleep is carrying what you have accepted beyond your effort. You do not need to remain awake all night, supervising the seed. Once the seed is placed in the soil works in darkness. The seed does not need your anxious observation. In fact, anxious observation disturbs it. So it is with the command, give it, feel it, accept it. Then allow sleep to carry it. The command given before sleep should be simple. The mind becomes drowsy, and that is a blessing. You do not need complicated words. You do not need long reasoning. The deep receives feeling more readily than explanation. Let the command be something you can rest in. I am the one who has. It is already mine in consciousness. My wish is fulfilled within me. I sleep as the one who receives. Life is answering my assumption now. Use one if one feels natural. Use none if the feeling itself is enough. The phrase is not the power by itself, it is the doorway. The power is the state you enter through it. If the phrase opens relief, remain in relief. If it opens peace, remain in peace. If it opens the quiet feeling of already, remain there. Before sleep, consciousness is soft enough to receive a new order. Do not waste that softness on old fears. Do not give the open door of sleep to regret. Do not let longing be the final. Longing may seem tender, but longing often says, I do not have. If you take longing into sleep, the deep receives not the wish, but the absence of the wish. Instead, let longing be transformed. Let the ache become possession. Let the reaching become rest. Let the wish become identity. Most men fall asleep asking life to answer them, while still feeling unanswered. The awakened one falls asleep having answered himself within. He says inwardly, I am the answer. I am the one. I am the fulfillment I once waited for. And then the world must reply. This is why sleep is sacred. It is not escape. It is not forgetfulness. It is entrance. You enter the depth where the command becomes impressed beyond ordinary thought. When the body sleeps, the deeper processes of consciousness do not cease. They receive, arrange, and express according to the state accepted. The last state is carried into hiddenness, and hiddenness is where seeds grow. A man who understands this will not fear sleep. He will honor it. He will not lie down carelessly in the garments of the old self. He will not sleep as the abandoned one, the poor one, the anxious one, the waiting one. Unless he wishes those states to continue, he will clothe himself before sleep in the state desired. He will put on the new man. He will enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let sleep seal it. Do not fall asleep commanding yesterday again. You have commanded yesterday long enough. You have given the night enough old stories. You have offered sleep enough worry. You have carried enough regret into the deep. Tonight, choose differently, not with strain, not with self-accusation, not by trying to repair your whole life in one moment. Simply choose the state you would rather plant. If the day was hard, revise the feeling before sleep. If the world seemed delayed, enter the end before sleep. If someone seemed distant, enter being loved before sleep. If lack appeared, enter supply before sleep. If fear spoke, enter peace before sleep. The final state is not a small matter. It is the instruction of the night. The last accepted state becomes the instruction of the night. Let the body help you. The body, when softened, makes the command deeper. A tense body often guards the old state. A softened body receives the new one more easily. So let the breath slow, not as a technique of force, but as the natural breath of the one who has. Let the shoulders rest, not because you are trying to relax, but because the burden is no longer your identity. Let the face soften, because the inner man no longer needs to fight the mirror. Let the hands release, because you are not grasping at life tonight. The command is not sent upward, it is received downward. It descends into the deep. It moves beneath the surface of ordinary thought. It enters the creative silence. And there, in silence, it begins to work. Sleep carries the command beneath the surface. Think of how often you have proven this unknowingly. You went to bed troubled and woke with the same trouble colored upon the morning. You slept in fear and found the next day interpreted through fear. You slept in anger and woke still speaking to absent men in the mind. You slept in lack and woke measuring life by insufficiency. This was not punishment. It was proof of the law. Sleep carried the accepted state, and morning continued it. Now use the same law consciously. Sleep in love, and let morning learn love. Sleep in supply, and let morning learn supply. Sleep in peace, and let morning learn peace. Sleep in freedom, and let morning learn freedom. Sleep in the wish fulfilled, and let life begin to answer that state. You do not need to force tomorrow. Give tonight the right command. Tomorrow is born from the state carried into the deep. It may not reveal everything at once, but the atmosphere will begin to change. You may move differently. You may notice differently. You may speak differently. You may be guided differently. Doors may begin to open in quiet, ordinary ways. Life may begin to rearrange while you are no longer straining to rearrange it. The awakened person sleeps in a chosen command. Let that be you tonight. Not because you are superior to another, but because you are awake enough to choose. Awake enough to stop planting fear. Awake enough to stop making lack the final word. Awake enough to stop letting regret write the instruction of the night. Awake enough to say, no, I will not sleep in the old order. I will sleep in the fulfilled state. If the old worry rises now, let it pass gently. It is only an old command seeking repetition. If lack whispers, let it pass. If regret appears, let it pass. If longing aches, place it into fulfillment. Say inwardly, this longing is now fulfilled in consciousness. I am the one who has. Then rest there. Before sleep, consciousness is soft enough to receive a new order. Let the new order be simple. I am loved, I am supplied, I am free, I am whole, I am at peace, I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. The command has been accepted within me. Do not force these words. Let them slow. Let them become warm and distant, like a gentle sound in the room. Let them become less like speech and more like atmosphere. You are not trying to persuade the deep by argument. You are giving it a state. You are offering it a feeling. You are placing a seed in silence. And if sleep comes while the phrase is still unfinished, let it come. Sleep knows how to carry what the waking mind cannot hold. Sleep is not an interruption of the command. Sleep is the carrying of the command beneath the surface. The senses are weakening now. Resistance is softening. The outer world is losing authority. The subconscious is becoming more receptive. The final feeling is sinking deeply. So choose the final feeling well. Do not fall asleep commanding yesterday again. Fall asleep commanding fulfillment. Fall asleep as the one who has. Fall asleep in the quiet I am. Join to your wish fulfilled. And let the night receive the order that your waking life must answer. Now I want to give you something simple enough to carry with you into sleep. Not a long prayer, not a complicated method, not a chain of thoughts that the mind must hold with effort. One sentence, one quiet command, one little doorway through which you may enter the fulfilled state as the body grows heavy and the outer world fades. A true command is short because it is certain. When a man knows, he does not need many words. When a matter is settled, the tongue does not labor. When the inner man has accepted a state, the phrase that carries it is often simple, quiet, and final. The fearful mind speaks in many words because it is trying to convince itself. The certain mind speaks little because it already stands within the thing spoken. This is why before sleep, I do not want you to burden the mind with many sentences. The drowsy state is tender. It is receptive. It is not the hour for argument. It is not the hour for analysis. It is not the hour to build a great structure of words. It is the hour to enter. And one sentence, if felt inwardly, can carry an entire state. It is already mine. I am the one who has it now. My wish is fulfilled within me. The command has been accepted. Life is answering my assumption. Any one of these may be enough. Do not take them as magic words. They are not magic by themselves. A sentence repeated with fear beneath it is only sound moving over the surface. A sentence repeated while the inner man remains in lack does not command fulfillment. The sentence becomes powerful when it leads you into the state. It becomes powerful when it awakens the feeling of already. It becomes powerful when, through it, you stop standing outside your wish and begin to dwell within it. Do not repeat to convince, repeat to enter. This is most important. If you repeat to convince, you are often repeating from doubt. You are saying the words while secretly asking whether they are true. You are trying to beat uncertainty into silence. But if you repeat to enter, the sentence becomes a door. You are not fighting the old state. You are leaving it. You are not arguing with lack. You are entering supply. You are not debating rejection. You are entering love. You are not struggling with delay. You are entering the feeling of done. Let the sentence become a doorway into the state. Suppose your sentence is, "It is already mine." Do not say it quickly. Do not say it with strain. Say it inwardly, softly, and then feel what the sentence implies. If it is already mine, then I am no longer chasing. If it is already mine, then I am no longer begging the world for permission. If it is already mine, then the body can rest. If it is already mine, then the question when begins to lose its power. The sentence opens a room, and you enter the room. It is already. Let the words become slower. It is already mine. Let the body hear them. It is already mine. Let the breath soften around them. It is already mine. The words are not forcing life. They are guiding you into possession. Or perhaps the sentence for you tonight is, "I am the one who has it now." That is a strong sentence because it does not merely speak of the desire. It speaks of identity. It does not say, "The thing is somewhere." It says, "I am the one." It names the self. It changes the position from waiting to having. It does not leave you as a beggar looking toward a distant gift. It seats you in the state of the fulfilled one. I am the one who has it now. Feel the word I. Feel the word am. Feel the word has. This is not tomorrow. This is not after proof. This is not after the world gives permission. This is now in consciousness. The outer world may still be translating the state, but the inner man has entered it. The command has been given, and if identity is accepted, life must answer. Or perhaps your sentence is, "My wish is fulfilled within me." This is a beautiful sentence for sleep, because it turns you inward. It reminds you that the first fulfillment is not in the shadow, not in the mirror, not in the echo, but within. My wish is fulfilled within me. The outer form will follow, but I do not wait for outer form to enter inner fulfillment. I enter fulfillment now, and the world follows the state. My wish is fulfilled within me. Say it as though you are placing the wish into the deep. My wish is fulfilled within me, not as desire only, but as accepted fact. My wish is fulfilled within me. Let the sentence descend beneath the surface. Or perhaps your sentence is, "The command has been accepted." This one is especially powerful when the mind wants to do more. The mind may say, "Repeat again, try harder, stay awake longer, check whether it worked, add more effort." But the sentence answers, "The command has been accepted." It brings the mind to rest. It says the seed has entered the soil. It says the deep has received the order. It says you do not need to stand guard over the invisible. The command has been accepted. Let that sentence close the door on effort. The command has been accepted. Let the body stop trying to supervise the law. The command has been accepted. Let sleep carry what waking effort cannot. Or perhaps your sentence is, "Life is answering my assumption." This reminds you that life is not against you. Life is not silent. Life is not separate from the state you occupy. Life is answering. Perhaps not in the way your waking mind planned. Perhaps not through the path you expected. But it is answering the assumption accepted within. The bridge begins in hiddenness. The reply forms from the command. Life is answering my assumption. Let that remove the need to force. Life is answering my assumption. Let that remove the need to watch every hour. Life is answering my assumption. Let that make the night feel safe. A true command is short because it is certain. Now choose only one. Do not gather many phrases in fear, as though more words mean more power. The power is not in the number of words. The power is in the state. One sentence, truly entered, is enough. One sentence, felt in the drowsy state, can carry the whole fulfilled life. One sentence, repeated softly until it becomes feeling, can be received by the subconscious as an order. If your wish is love, your sentence may be, "I am loved now." But do not repeat it as one who is frightened of being unloved. Repeat it as one entering the warmth of love. Feel what being loved would remove from the body. Feel the end of begging. Feel the softness of belonging. Let the sentence carry you there. I am loved now. If your wish is supply, your sentence may be, "I am supplied now." But do not repeat it while counting fear. Repeat it as one entering the quiet ease of provision. Feel the breath of one whose needs are met. Feel the stomach loosening. Feel the old pressure falling away for a moment. Let the sentence carry you there. I am supplied now. If your wish is peace, your sentence may be, "I am safe in peace now." Do not repeat it to fight fear. Repeat it to enter. Let the face soften. Let the body feel that it is not required to defend itself against the night. Let the sentence carry you there. I am safe in peace now. If your wish is success, your sentence may be, I am established now. Do not repeat it as one outside the gate. Repeat it as one taking his place within. Feel belonging. Feel quiet recognition. Feel the end of needing to prove. Let the sentence carry you there. I am established now. If your wish is healing or wholeness, your sentence may be, I am whole now. Do not repeat it harshly against the body. Repeat it gently as one allowing the body to remember ease. Feel one breath of wholeness. One breath is enough to begin. Let the sentence carry you there. I am whole now. If your wish is freedom, your sentence may be, I am free now. Do not repeat it while studying the chains. Repeat it as one stepping inwardly into open space. Feel the room within you widen. Feel the old pressure loosen. Let the sentence carry you there. I am free now. Do not repeat to convince. Repeat to enter. If you repeat to convince, you may become tense. You may begin to listen to the words as though they were on trial. You may ask, do I believe this? Is it working? Am I doing it correctly? That is the waking mind trying to turn the command into a test. But the night is not a courtroom. The night is a chamber of acceptance. Let the sentence be gentle. Let it rock the mind into the state. Let it be almost like a lullaby of identity. It is already mine. I am the one who has it now. My wish is fulfilled within me. The command has been accepted. Life is answering my assumption. Choose one and let it become yours. At first, the words may feel separate from you. That is all right. Many true states feel unfamiliar at first because the old state has been worn for so long. Do not be discouraged. A new garment feels different when first placed upon the body, but if you wear it, it begins to take your shape. If you return to it, it becomes familiar. If you sleep in it, it sinks deeper. If you stop arguing with it, it becomes natural. Let the sentence become a doorway into the state. You are not meant to stand in the doorway forever. You are meant to pass through. If the sentence opens relief, rest in relief. If it opens peace, rest in peace. If it opens the feeling of being chosen, rest there. If it opens the feeling of being supplied, rest there. If it opens the feeling that your wish is already accepted, rest there. The sentence has done its work when the feeling appears. Then the words may fade, and that is good. The words fade, but the feeling remains. As sleep approaches, you may find that you cannot hold the phrase clearly. The mind grows soft. The sentence becomes incomplete. The words drift. Do not fight this. You are not failing. You are entering the very condition in which the feeling can descend. Let the words fade if they must. Keep only the mood. Keep only the quiet certainty. Keep only the sense of already. The words fade, but the feeling remains. This is why a simple sentence is so useful. It can go with you until words are no longer needed. It can carry you to the edge of sleep and then dissolve, leaving behind the state it opened. The sentence is the boat. The feeling is the shore. Once you have reached the shore, do not cling to the boat. Perhaps tonight you say, it is already mine. And after a few repetitions, the phrase becomes only a warm sense of possession. Let that be. Perhaps you say, the command has been accepted. And then the words dissolve into peace. Let that be. Perhaps you say, life is answering my assumption, and then the body relaxes because it no longer feels responsible for forcing the road. Let that be. The deep receives the feeling, not the perfection of the sentence. Do not make the sentence another burden. Do not say, I must repeat it a certain number of times. Do not say, I must keep it perfectly until I sleep. Do not say, if I lose the words, I have lost the command. No, the command is not fragile. The command is the state accepted. The sentence is only a servant. Use it gently and let it serve. If thoughts interrupt, return to the sentence. If fear rises, return to the sentence. If the old question when appears, return to the sentence. Not as punishment, not as strain, as home. It is already mine. Return. I am the one who has it now. Return. My wish is fulfilled within me. Return. The command has been accepted. Return. Life is answering my assumption. Return. Each return is a movement away from the old command and into the new one. Each return tells the inner man. Each return gently refuses fear, the final word. And if you return enough, not anxiously but softly, the sentence begins to feel less like something you are saying and more like something you are remembering. That is when it becomes powerful, not when it is loud, not when it is forced, when it feels remembered, as though the wish were not something you are trying to create, but something already true in the deep, now being allowed to rise into awareness. A true command is short because it is certain. There is no need for many explanations before sleep. The day has had enough explanations. The mind has had enough arguments. The body has carried enough tension. Now give yourself one sentence that carries you into the end. If you are loved, how simple is the command? I am loved. If you are supplied, how simple is the command? I am supplied. If you are free, how simple is the command? I am free. If your wish is fulfilled, how simple is it is done. Do not be afraid of simplicity. The mind that is afraid often wants complexity, because complexity gives it something to do. But the fulfilled state does not need much to do. It rests, it knows, it receives. It says little because it has accepted much. So tonight, let the sentence be short, personal, and in the end. Short, because certainty does not need many words. Personal, because the command must touch your own identity. In the end, because the subconscious must receive fulfillment, not waiting. Do not say, I am trying to get it. That is not the end. Do not say, I hope it comes. That is not the end. Do not say, please let it happen. That is not the end. Say, it is already mine. Say, I am the one who has it now. Say, my wish is fulfilled within me. Say, the command has been accepted. Say, life is answering my assumption. Then let one of them become the rhythm of sleep. Not fast, not hard. Slowly, it is already mine. A breath, it is already mine. A deeper breath, it is already mine. A softening, it is already mine. A quietness. Then perhaps the words fade, and only the feeling remains. Already mine, already done, already accepted, already fulfilled, already. And then even already may fade, and there is only peace. That peace may be the sign that the sentence has opened the state. That peace may be enough. The words fade, but the feeling remains. Let the feeling remain as the body drifts. Let it remain beneath thought. Let it remain beneath the last images of the day. Let it remain as the instruction of the night. You do not need to keep speaking. You do not need to supervise. You do not need to force. You have given the sentence. You have entered the state. Now let sleep receive it. The command is simple. The command is inward. The command is already. And tonight, as you draw nearer to sleep, let one sentence become the key that opens the door. It is already mine. I am the one who has it now. My wish is fulfilled within me. The command has been accepted. Life is answering my assumption. Choose one, enter it, feel it, and let the night carry it deeper. Now let us make the command visible to the inner man through one little scene, not a long scene, not a spectacle. One small moment, chosen wisely, can contain the entire fulfillment of your wish. One small moment, felt from within, can tell the subconscious more than many anxious thoughts. One small moment can say, without explanation, it is done. One small scene can carry the whole fulfilled life. This is the art of imagination. You do not need to imagine every step. You do not need to know the road. You do not need to arrange the people, the hour, the manner, the sequence, the bridge, the conditions. The outer mind wants to control these things because it does not trust the deep. But the deep does not require your map. It requires your state. It requires the feeling of the end. And a scene that implies the end can give that feeling simply and powerfully. The scene is proof to the inner man that the command has been received, not proof to the outer world, not proof to another person, proof to the inner man. It is your way of telling consciousness, this is no longer a wish standing outside me. This is the life after the command has been obeyed. This is what it feels like when the matter is settled. The scene should not show you begging for the wish. It should not show you fighting for it. It should not show you chasing signs or demanding that life obey. It should show life after it has already obeyed. Do not imagine the struggle obeying you. Imagine life after it has already obeyed. That is the distinction. Many imagine the struggle. They imagine the argument ending, the obstacle breaking, the person changing, the money appearing, the door opening in a great moment of shock. But the shock still remembers the absence. The struggle still remembers the battle. The dramatic moment still carries the feeling of something extraordinary interrupting your life. And while such scenes may excite the mind, they do not always teach the subconscious that the wish is natural. So go beyond the struggle. Go beyond the first surprise. Go beyond the moment of rescue. Go beyond the outer event. Enter the life after. If the command has already been received, if the wish has already been fulfilled, what quiet moment would naturally follow? What little scene would imply that the thing is done? What ordinary detail would make the fulfilled state feel real? That is the scene you want. Make it ordinary enough for the subconscious to accept. Do not despise the ordinary. The ordinary is often the doorway to reality. Men want the marvelous, but the subconscious accepts the familiar. If the scene feels too grand, too theatrical, too far from your sense of self, the mind may remain outside it, admiring it, but not entering it. But an ordinary scene can slip past resistance. It can feel near. It can feel possible. It can feel like something you could actually live. And because it feels livable, it becomes believable. And because it becomes believable, it becomes acceptable. And what is accepted becomes creative. Your scene should be short. A few seconds may be enough. It should be first person. You must not watch yourself as though you were viewing another. You must be in it. See from your own eyes, hear from your own place, feel with your own hands. Let it be sensory. Let there be a voice, a touch, a movement, a breath, a texture, a chair beneath you, a hand in yours, a familiar room, a letter held calmly, a quiet word spoken near you. Let it be calm. Let it be after the wish is fulfilled. Let it be easy to repeat. A scene that is too long often invites wandering. A scene with too many details may become effort. A scene that is too dramatic may keep the wish foreign. But a short scene repeated gently in the state akin to sleep can become a vessel for the fulfilled feeling. It can carry you again and again into the same state until the state becomes natural. Suppose your wish is love. Do not imagine pleading for love. Do not imagine explaining your worth. Do not imagine a dramatic scene where another finally confesses through tears that you were always wanted. That may move the emotions, but it may still leave you as one who had been waiting. Instead, imagine a moment after love is already secure. Perhaps you are lying quietly, and you feel someone's hand in yours. No one is trying to prove anything. No one is leaving. There is no fear. There is only the natural warmth of being loved. Perhaps you hear a gentle voice say your name with affection. Perhaps you feel the peaceful certainty that you are chosen. The scene is small, but it implies everything. It says to the subconscious, love is already mine. Suppose your wish is supply. Do not imagine the panic ending in a sudden explosion of relief. Do not imagine yourself begging the world to send enough. Do not imagine the struggle as the center. Instead, imagine calmly paying what once worried you. Feel your hand moving with ease. Hear the small sound of paper, of a pen, of a drawer closing, of a letter being set aside, because it no longer frightens you. Feel the body without dread. Perhaps you are sitting quietly at a table, looking at what once troubled you, and now there is no contraction. The scene is ordinary, but it implies supply. It says to the subconscious, I am provided for. Suppose your wish is peace. Do not imagine wrestling fear to the ground. Do not imagine yourself fighting thoughts all night. Do not imagine peace as a great battle won by force. Instead, imagine sitting in a chair after the burden has gone. The room is quiet. Your breathing is easy. The body is not braced. No one needs to speak. Nothing needs to be solved in that moment. You are simply at peace. This small scene may carry the whole answer. It says to the subconscious, the burden has lifted. Suppose your wish is success. Do not imagine yourself begging for recognition. Do not imagine proving yourself before men who once doubted you. Do not make the scene a courtroom where you finally win approval. Instead, imagine success after it has settled. Perhaps you hear someone say, I am so happy for you. Perhaps a hand rests on your shoulder in congratulations. Perhaps you are sitting in the place that is now yours, no longer startled by it. Perhaps you hear, you have done well, and you receive it calmly as one who belongs. The scene is not noisy. It is established. It says to the subconscious, I am in the role now. Suppose your wish is healing or wholeness. Do not imagine fighting the body. Do not imagine anxiety as the center of the scene. Do not imagine yourself studying every sensation to see whether life has obeyed. Instead, imagine waking with relief, not wild excitement, relief. You open your eyes and the body feels more like home. You move through the day with less fear. Perhaps you are walking calmly, breathing easily, doing something simple that implies the old concern is no longer master. The scene is not a medical argument. It is the feeling of ease lived naturally. It says to the subconscious, wholeness is normal now. Suppose your wish is freedom. Do not imagine the chains breaking in a dramatic storm unless that truly gives you rest. Often a better scene is after the chains have already fallen. You sit quietly, you breathe, you look out a window. There is space in the body. The old pressure is absent. You are not explaining your freedom, you are living it. That quiet absence of burden may be the most powerful symbol. It says to the subconscious, I am free. The scene is proof to the inner man that the command has been received. When you choose the scene, ask yourself only this: would this happen if my wish were already fulfilled? If the answer is yes, then the scene may serve. It does not need to show the whole fulfillment, it only needs to imply it. A wedding ring may imply marriage. A key in the hand may imply home. A calm payment may imply supply. A congratulation may imply success. A soft embrace may imply love. A deep breath may imply peace. A peaceful morning may imply healing. The subconscious understands implication. It receives the meaning carried by the scene. Do not make the scene a petition. Make it a result. Do not make it a question. Make it an answer. Do not make it a chase. Make it possession. Do not make it a struggle. Make it after. Do not imagine the struggle obeying you. Imagine life after it has already obeyed. This is why the scene should be after the wish is fulfilled. After is a powerful word in imagination. After means the command has been received. After means the event has occurred. After means you are no longer waiting at the gate. After means life has already replied. The mind may still ask how this can be, but the scene says quietly, it is done. Before sleep, choose your after. After love is yours. After supply is normal. After peace has returned. After success has settled. After the body feels ease. After the burden is lifted. After the wish has become life. Go there. Do not stand before the gate. Go inside. And when you enter the scene, enter it from within. Do not see yourself sitting peacefully. Be the one sitting peacefully. Do not watch yourself being congratulated. Hear the words as though spoken to you. Do not look at yourself holding a hand. Feel the hand in yours. Do not observe yourself paying calmly. Feel your own movement, your own ease, your own relief. Do not watch yourself waking with peace. Wake in imagination as yourself. First person is essential because you are not trying to admire a life outside you. You are trying to occupy it. The world changes when consciousness changes position. To see yourself from a distance may still leave you as an observer, but to enter the scene makes you the one who lives it. One small scene can carry the whole fulfilled life. Now let us make it even simpler. Perhaps you choose only a sentence spoken by another. I am so happy for you. That is enough if you feel what it implies. Do not ask who speaks it too anxiously. Do not build an entire story around it. Hear the voice, receive the meaning, feel the fulfillment. Someone is happy for you because the wish is fulfilled. Let that be enough. Perhaps you choose the feeling of someone's hand in yours. That is enough if it implies love, safety, companionship, being chosen. Feel the warmth, feel the naturalness. Let the hand imply the whole relationship fulfilled. Perhaps you choose calmly paying what once worried you. That is enough if it implies supply. Feel the absence of fear. Feel the ease. Feel the dignity of being provided for. Let that simple motion imply the whole state. Perhaps you choose waking with relief. That is enough if it implies the problem is gone, the burden is lifted, the wish is accepted. Feel the first breath of morning as one who does not carry the old weight. Let that breath imply the whole answer. Perhaps you choose sitting in peace after the burden has gone. That is enough if peace is your desire. Feel the chair, feel the stillness, feel the body, no longer preparing for trouble. Let that quiet scene imply a new life. Perhaps you choose being congratulated after success has settled. That is enough if success is your wish. Hear the words. Feel yourself receiving them without shrinking. Feel that the role is yours now. Let the scene imply your fulfilled place. Make it ordinary enough for the subconscious to accept. If you choose a scene and it feels too difficult, too dramatic, too unbelievable, do not abandon your wish. Simplify the scene. The wish does not need to shrink, but the doorway may need to become more natural. If imagining great wealth causes resistance, imagine one calm act of provision. If imagining perfect love causes anxiety, imagine one moment of being safely loved. If imagining enormous success feels far, imagine one quiet word of respect. If imagining total freedom feels too large, imagine one breath without the old burden. You are not reducing the end. You are finding the entrance. A great house may have a small door. The door is not the whole house, but through it you enter. A small scene may be the door into a great fulfilled state. Do not despise it, because it is small. If it carries the feeling of the end, it is enough. Now, when you repeat the scene, do so gently. Do not force it to be perfect. Do not examine it every time. Do not turn it into a performance. Enter it, feel it, and let it repeat naturally. The first time it may feel imagined. The second time it may feel a little softer. The third time, the body may begin to recognize it. Then the image may grow faint, but the feeling remains. That is good. The feeling is the command. The scene is proof to the inner man that the command has been received. And proof to the inner man feels like relief. It feels like, yes, this is the life after. It feels like, I do not need to chase now. It feels like the matter has been answered within. That feeling, more than any outer evidence, is what you carry into sleep. If, while repeating the scene, the mind asks, but when will this happen? Do not answer the question. Return to the scene. The scene itself is the answer. If the mind asks, how will life arrange this? Return to the scene. The scene implies that life has already arranged it. If the mind says this is only imagination, return to the feeling. Imagination is the place where the command is given. The outer world is only the reply. Do not imagine the struggle obeying you. Imagine life after it has already obeyed. This instruction will save you from much strain. For many, even in imagination, remain loyal to the problem. They imagine the problem changing, the problem moving, the problem being defeated, the problem being discussed. But in doing so, the problem remains the center. The fulfilled scene removes the problem from the throne. It says we are beyond that now. It places consciousness in the answer, not the question. If you wish to be loved, do not make abandonment the center. Make being loved the center. If you wish to be supplied, do not make lack the center. Make provision the center. If you wish to be free, do not make the chain the center. Make freedom the center. If you wish to be at peace, do not make fear the center. Make quietness the center. If you wish to succeed, do not make rejection the center. Make belonging the center. Let the scene belong to the answer. The command has been given, and now you are imagining life after the command has been obeyed. This is the feeling you take into sleep. This is the state that sinks beneath the surface. This is the little seed placed in the deep. One small scene can carry the whole fulfilled life. So tonight, do not make the work complicated. Do not gather many scenes. Do not build a long story. Do not attempt to imagine the entire bridge. Choose one small moment after fulfillment. Let it be intimate. Let it be sensory. Let it be first person. Let it be calm. Let it be ordinary. Let it be easy to repeat. Perhaps you hear, I am so happy for you. Perhaps you feel a hand in yours. Perhaps you pay calmly without fear. Perhaps you wake with relief. Perhaps you sit peacefully after the burden has gone. Perhaps you receive congratulations after success has settled. Perhaps you feel the simple breath of one whose wish is fulfilled. Choose one. Enter it. Feel it. Repeat it gently. Then allow the scene to become less of a picture and more of a state. Let the words fade. Let the images soften. Let the body carry the meaning. If sleep comes, let sleep take you from inside the scene, not outside it. Let sleep take the feeling of after. Let sleep take the proof that the command has been received. Make it ordinary enough for the subconscious to accept. Make it simple enough to enter. Make it calm enough to sleep in. Make it true enough in feeling that the inner man says yes. And when the inner man says yes, the command is no longer merely spoken, it is accepted. The wish is no longer merely wanted, it is inhabited. The scene is no longer merely imagined. It is the door through which consciousness has entered the fulfilled state. Rest there, rest in the after, rest in the after, rest in the answer, rest in the small scene that carries the whole fulfilled life. For the world follows the state that has been accepted, and tonight you have given it the state of the wish fulfilled. Now I want you to notice one of the subtlest ways the old state keeps itself alive. It is not always through doubt that appears loud and obvious. It is not always through fear that shakes the body. Sometimes the old state hides itself inside a simple question, a question that seems innocent, a question that appears reasonable, a question that many men ask while believing they are merely seeking comfort. When? When will it happen? When will the door open? When will the letter arrive? When will the burden lift? When will the wish appear? When will the world finally show me that my assumption has been heard? Now listen carefully, and let this enter you softly. Because I do not say this to make you afraid of the question. I say it to make you aware of the state that often speaks through it. When is the language of waiting? When is the language of the one who still feels the wish ahead of him? When is the language of the one who has not yet accepted that consciousness is the place where fulfillment begins? When, if it is asked from hunger, places the wish in the future and places you in the state of not having? When is the language of waiting? The fulfilled state does not ask when. It rests in now, not because the outer event has necessarily appeared to the senses in that moment, but because the inner man has already entered possession. The outer world may still be translating the assumption into events. The bridge may still be forming. Men may still be moved. Circumstances may still be arranging themselves. The road may still be hidden from the eyes, but the command is not waiting to be given. The command is already given in consciousness. The command is not given in the future. It is given now. This is where many lose the state after they have entered it. They imagine, they feel, they accept for a moment, and then the old mind returns and says, but when? And in asking when from fear, they step out of the end and return to the beginning. They leave the room of fulfillment and stand again at the gate. They take the wish that was accepted within and place it ahead of them in time. They say, without meaning to, it is not yet mine. And consciousness, being faithful, receives that state also. Do not condemn yourself if you have done this. All men have done it. The senses are persuasive. The outer world seems solid. Time seems powerful to the outer man. He looks at the calendar. He looks at the hour. He remembers how long he has waited. And he begins to think time is the master. But time is not the master. State is the master. Time only unfolds what state has accepted. The future is not a distant tyrant. The future is the shadow of the state occupied now. The one who has commanded within does not beg time without. If you have truly accepted the command within, why beg time to hurry? Why stand over the seed and demand that it show you its roots? Why disturb the soil every hour to see whether the hidden work has begun? The seed works in darkness. The root forms beneath the surface. The outer eye does not see the first movement, but the movement is there. So it is with assumption. The first movement is not always outward. The first movement is inward. The state has changed. The command has been accepted. Life has begun to answer, though the answer may still be forming beyond the reach of your senses. Do not dig up the seed to ask if it is growing. This is what anxious checking does. It digs up the seed. It says it working. Has anything changed? Is life moving? Did I imagine correctly? Did the command go deep enough? Did I feel it strongly enough? How long will this take? And every such question, if asked from fear, removes you from the Sabbath. It brings you back into mental labor. It places you once again in the state of one who is trying to make something happen. The Sabbath is not a day upon a calendar. It is the rest of the fulfilled consciousness. It is the inner stillness that follows the acceptance of the end. When the wish has been accepted, the Sabbath begins. You rest, not because you have abandoned the desire, but because you have entered its fulfillment. You rest, not because you do not care, but because the inner work is done. You rest, not because nothing is happening, but because everything that matters has happened at the level of cause. When you ask when from fear, you leave rest. You leave the Sabbath and return to labor. You say, perhaps it is not done. But the fulfilled state says, it is done in consciousness. The fulfilled state does not argue with time, because it does not locate fulfillment in time. It locates fulfillment in being. Replace then the old question with the true answer. Instead of asking, when will it happen? Say inwardly, it is already done in consciousness. Do not say it as a phrase of denial. Say it as a return. Say it as one who remembers where cause begins. Say it softly. Say it slowly. Let it bring the body back from urgency into possession. When will it happen? It is already done in consciousness. When will they answer? It is already done in consciousness. When will the money come? It is already done in consciousness. When will the money? When will the burden lift? It is already done in consciousness. When will life change? It is already done in consciousness. You are not using the sentence to fight the question. You are using it to return to the state. The question belongs to waiting. The answer belongs to being. The question looks outward. The answer returns inward. The question places the wish ahead. The answer places the wish in the only creative place there is, consciousness now. The command is not given in the future. It is given now. If you are loved in consciousness now, then you need not wait to begin being loved within. If you are supplied in consciousness now, then you need not wait for the figures to grant you the feeling of supply. If you are free in consciousness now, then freedom is not merely an event ahead of you, it is a state you occupy. If your wish is fulfilled within you now, then the outer world is not the creator, it is the translator. Translation may take place through time, but creation does not wait for time. Creation takes place in assumption. The moment you assume the state, you have moved. The world may appear to lag behind, but the shadow always follows the substance. Do not be deceived by the lag. Do not take the slowness of the shadow as denial from the law. The world is always catching up to the state that has been accepted. This is why impatience is so dangerous, not morally dangerous, but creatively. Impatience says, it is not here. Impatience says, I am still without. Impatience says, the command has not been received. Impatience may seem like enthusiasm, but if it is filled with lack, it returns you to wanting. And wanting, if accepted as identity, commands more wanting. The one who has does not ache for time to rescue him. The one who has does not make the clock his savior. The one who has may move through the days, yes, he may speak with men, he may attend to life, but inwardly he does not kneel before time. He knows that time is only the unfolding of what is already accepted within. When is the language of waiting? Now let us be very gentle, because the mind that asks when is often tired. It is not evil, it is weary. It has waited so long in the old state that it fears more delay. It asks when because it wants relief. It asks when because it wants assurance. It asks when because it has not yet understood that assurance cannot be truly found in the shadow. Assurance is found in the state. So do not scold the mind when it asks when. Do not make war with it, simply guide it home. If a child wakes in the night afraid, you do not argue him into peace. You do not condemn him for being afraid. You speak softly. You bring him back to rest. Treat your own mind with the same tenderness. When it asks when, answer softly, now. It is done now in consciousness. Let that answer become like a hand placed gently upon the restless mind. When will it happen? It is already done in consciousness. When will the world show me? The world will show what consciousness has accepted. When will I receive? I receive inwardly now, and life must answer. When will the command work? The command has already been given within. The question does not need a date, it needs a state. Man wants a date because he believes the event will give him peace. But peace is part of the end. If you postpone peace until the event, you have not entered the end. You are still waiting. If the wish fulfilled would bring relief, then relief is part of the state you must enter now. If the wish fulfilled would bring confidence, then confidence is part of the state now. If the wish fulfilled would bring rest, then rest is part of the state now. You do not wait for the event to grant you the state. You assume the state and the event follows. This is the reversal the world does not understand. The world says first it happens, then I feel. I say first feel it as true, and then it happens. The world says first proof, then certainty. I say first certainty in consciousness, then proof. The world says first receive, then rest. I say enter rest, for rest is the sign that you have received within. Do not dig up the seed to ask if it is growing. Let the seed remain in the dark. The dark is not failure. The dark is where seeds begin. Hiddenness is not denial. Hiddenness is where the unseen takes form. If after you assume, the world appears unchanged, do not panic. The seed is in the soil. If after you enter the state, the outer facts seem to echo the old, do not be deceived. The echo may be old. The voice has changed. If after you give the command, time seems to pass, do not make time your master. Remain in the state. Remain in the end. Remain faithful to what has been accepted within. Faithfulness does not mean forcing thought every hour. Faithfulness means not returning to the old identity as your home. It means when the old question rises, you do not build a house around it. You let it pass and return to the fulfilled state. It means you do not consult appearances for permission to be. It means you do not ask the shadow whether the substance has moved. It means you abide in the consciousness of already. The one who has commanded within does not beg time without. If your wish is love, stop asking, when will I be loved? That question keeps you as one not loved yet. Enter instead, I am loved now in consciousness. Feel the warmth, feel the security, feel the end of waiting. Let love become your inner atmosphere before it becomes your outer evidence. If your wish is supply, stop asking when will money come. That question often keeps you in the state of watching lack. Enter instead, I am supplied now in consciousness. Feel the relief, feel the calm, feel the dignity of provision. Let the body no longer bow to insufficiency. If your wish is freedom, stop asking, when will I be free? That question may keep the chain alive. Enter instead, I am free now in consciousness. Feel the space, feel the breath, feel the end of pressure. Let the inner man walk out before the outer road appears. If your wish is success, stop asking, when will I be recognized? That question may keep you outside the role. Enter instead, I am established now in consciousness. Feel belonging, feel place, feel respect as natural. Let the world catch up to the position you have accepted. If your wish is peace, stop asking, when will fear leave me? Enter instead, I am peace now in consciousness. Let the body soften, let the breath slow, let the night itself become proof that you can rest before every outer question is answered. The command is not given in the future, it is given now. Now is not merely a point on the clock. Now is the living place of awareness. You cannot assume yesterday. You cannot assume tomorrow. You can only assume now. Even when you imagine the future, you imagine it now. Even when you remember the past, you remember it now. Now is the creative moment, because now is where I am, is felt. Therefore, if you are to give the command, give it now. If you are to enter the wish fulfilled, enter it now. If you are to rest in possession, rest now. The outer event may appear tomorrow, or another day, or through a chain of incidents you could not foresee. But do not give tomorrow the power that belongs to now. Tomorrow is not cause. The state accepted now is cause. Time unfolds. Conscious. When is the language of waiting? Already is the language of possession. Let your inner speech change from when to already. Not as a trick, as a shift of state. When belongs to longing. Already belongs to assumption. When asks the world for permission. Already gives the command within. When looks down the road. Already enters the end. When is restless. Already can sleep. Already loved. Already supplied. Already free. Already whole. Already. Let already become the atmosphere of the night. Not dramatic, not loud, just steady. Already. The wish is already accepted. The command has already been given. The seed is already planted. The deep has already received it. Life is already answering the assumption, though the outer eye may not yet see how. And if the mind says, but I need to know when, answer gently, no, I need to know who I am. For when will not save you if you remain the old. But if you become the one who has, when becomes irrelevant. The state will produce its own appointed hour. The bridge will form, the reply will come. But it comes to the one who is, not to the one who forever postpones being. Do not let time make you a beggar. Do not stand before the days asking them to give you identity. Do not say, when it happens, then I will be. Say, I am now, and because I am now, it must happen. This is the authority of assumption. It does not deny the unfolding of events, it simply refuses to place creation in the event. It knows that the event is the child, not the parent. The parent is state, the parent is consciousness, the parent is I am joined to the fulfilled wish. So tonight, before sleep, make a sacred exchange. Give up when and receive already. Give up waiting and receive being. Give up checking and receive rest. Give up begging time and receive the Sabbath. The Sabbath is the state in which the question when no longer rules you. You may not know the hour, but you know the end. You may not see the bridge, but you know the state. You may not hear the reply yet, but you know the command has been given. And because you know, you rest. Rest is certainty in the body. Rest is faith without strain. Rest is the seed left undisturbed. Rest is the command trusted in the deep. Let the body enter that rest now. Let the shoulders fall away from the old question. Let the jaw release the word when. Let the breath stop hurrying toward tomorrow. Let the hands unclench from the need to know. Let the heart settle into already. When will it happen? It is already done in consciousness. When will life answer? Life is answering now. When will I receive? I am the one who has. When will the command be fulfilled? The command is fulfilled first within, and the world must follow. Do not dig up the seed to ask if it is growing. Leave it in the rich darkness of the subconscious. Leave it in sleep. Leave it in trust. Leave it in the Sabbath. You have given the command by entering the state. Now do not undo it with anxious inquiry. Do not take the wish back from the deep. and hold it up to the light every hour. Let it grow. The outer world may still translate the assumption into events. Let it. Translation is not your burden. Translation is the business of life. Your business is assumption. Your business is remaining in the end. Your business is being the one who has now. The one who has commanded within does not beg time without. So tonight, if the old question returns, meet it softly. Do not fear it. Do not follow it. Let it remind you to return. When? Already. When? Now, in consciousness. When? It is done. When? I am the one who has. The question fades when the state is occupied. Starve it of waiting. Feed the fulfilled state. Rest in already until the body learns that there is no emergency. Rest in already until sleep comes. Rest in already until the last accepted state is not longing but fulfillment. The command is not given in the future. It is given now. The seed is not planted someday. It is planted now. The wish is not first fulfilled in time. It is first fulfilled in consciousness now. And tonight you need not ask when. You may sleep as the one who has. You may let the night carry not impatience, but certainty. Not urgency, but possession. Not waiting, but already. Already done. Already accepted. Already fulfilled within me. Already moving. Already mine in consciousness. Let that be the last language of the night. And let time, obedient to state, follow. Now, after the command has been given, after the state has been accepted, after the inner man has moved into the end, there comes a movement in life that the outer mind cannot fully trace while it is happening. I have called it the bridge of incidents. But do not make this bridge another object of anxiety. Do not begin watching for it as though it were a sign you must catch. Do not turn the bridge into another burden. The bridge is not your work. The bridge is the world translating the command you have accepted within. Life builds the bridge from the state you occupy. This is why your work is always the state, not the road, not the method, not the number of steps, not the arrangement of men and circumstances. The state. If you occupy the end, life begins to form the road that belongs to that end. If you occupy love, life forms the movements that answer love. If you occupy supply, life forms the movements that... If you occupy peace, life forms the movements that answer peace. If you occupy success, life forms the movements that answer success. You may not recognize these movements at first, because life often comes dressed in the ordinary. The bridge often comes dressed as ordinary life, a conversation, a letter, a sudden thought, a meeting that seems accidental, a small change in your mood, a decision you find yourself making without the old fear, a door opening through a road closing that later proves merciful, a sentence overheard, a memory revised, a desire to go somewhere you had not planned to go, a calmness where panic once lived, a new action that feels natural, not forced. These things may appear small, they may appear common, but if they are born from the accepted state, they belong to the bridge. The outer man wants the bridge to announce itself. He wants life to say, here it is, this is the movement, this is the step, this is the... But the law is subtler than that. It moves through naturalness. It moves through what seems reasonable in the moment. It moves through ordinary channels so gracefully that looking back you may say, how perfect the path was. Though while walking it, it seemed only like life unfolding. You do not command the bridge, you command the end. This must become very clear. If you try to command the bridge, you return to the state of managing, forcing, calculating, and watching. You may think you are helping the law, but often you are only returning to fear. The mind says, it must happen through this person. It must come by this road. It must arrive at this hour. It must take this form. And by doing so, the mind narrows the infinite. It tries to make the outer man wiser than the deeper intelligence of consciousness. But the state knows roads. The waking mind has never imagined. You do not need to know how. You need to know who you are. If you know yourself as the one who has, the how begins to form around that knowing. If you know yourself as supplied, supply finds its channels. If you know yourself as loved, love finds its expressions. If you know yourself as free, freedom finds its doors. If you know yourself as established, success finds its means. The bridge belongs to the state, and the state contains the bridge. Once the command is accepted, the road begins to arrange itself. This arranging may begin quietly. It may begin first in you. Do not overlook that. Many think the bridge must first appear as an outer event, but often the first incident is a change of mood. You wake and the old pressure is lighter. You face a situation and do not react in the old way. You feel less tempted to beg, less tempted to chase, less tempted to explain yourself, less tempted to force. This is not nothing. This is part of the bridge. The inner man has moved, and your behavior begins to follow. A man who assumes supply may find that he no longer avoids a letter he feared opening. He opens it calmly, and that calmness leads him to answer it differently. That answer leads to a conversation. The conversation leads to an opportunity. The opportunity leads to a chain of events he could never have planned. Later he says, it all happened so naturally. Yes, it happened naturally because the state became natural first. A woman who assumes being loved may find that she no longer speaks from hunger. She no longer looks at silence as proof of abandonment. She no longer gives herself away in order to be chosen. She becomes quieter, softer, more secure. Then another responds differently, or someone new appears, or an old relationship takes on another tone. And to the outer mind, it may seem like people changed, but the bridge began when she changed state. A man who assumes success may find that he is suddenly moved to write, to speak, to call, to visit, to accept, to refuse, to prepare, to stand in a room differently. These actions may not feel dramatic. They may feel simple and natural, yet they are part of the road. The state is expressing itself through him. He is not acting to become successful. He is acting from the state of being established. This is why you must not despise ordinary events. The extraordinary often arrives clothed as the ordinary. A single letter may carry a great change. A single conversation may redirect a life. A simple invitation may open a door. A quiet idea before sleep may become an action in the morning. A change in your tone may alter an entire relationship. A small refusal born of dignity may free you from a pattern that held you for years. The bridge often comes dressed as ordinary life, and because it is ordinary, the anxious mind is looking for fireworks. It is looking for sudden proof. It is looking for evidence that can be measured immediately. But the law does not need to impress your anxiety. The law needs only express the accepted state. If the accepted state is calm, the bridge may come calmly. If the accepted state is natural, the bridge may come naturally. If the accepted state is already, the bridge may not feel like a miracle while it is happening. It may feel like the next obvious step. This is why, when you have assumed the end, you must not become a watchman of the bridge. Do not stand at the window of the mind saying, is this it? Is that it? Is this the sign? Is this the way? Is this the person? Is this the moment? That is not faith. That is anxiety disguised as attention. It takes you out of the end and places you back in waiting. It makes the bridge more important than the state. But the bridge has no power apart from the state. The state is cause. Life builds the bridge from the state you occupy. If you occupy fear, life builds the bridge of fear. You find reasons to worry. You meet circumstances that confirm uncertainty. You interpret neutral things as threats. Your own actions become restless and reactive. That too is a bridge, but it leads where fear leads. If you occupy lack, life builds the bridge of lack. If you occupy rejection, life builds the bridge of rejection. If you occupy delay, but if you occupy fulfillment, life builds the bridge of fulfillment. This is why I ask you to be faithful to the end, not to force the end, not to strain after it, faithful to it. Return to it when the mind wanders. Sleep in it, move from it. Let it become the atmosphere from which you live. And as you do, life will begin to rearrange in ways that may seem too simple to be sacred. But simplicity is often how law appears. The bridge may begin as sudden clarity. You may suddenly know what to do, not with panic but with peace. You may suddenly lose interest in something that belonged to the old state. You may suddenly feel drawn toward a person, a place, a book, a conversation, a decision. You may suddenly stop forcing a road that was never yours. You may suddenly feel the courage to act where before there was paralysis. These are incidents. Do not worship them. Do not fear them. Walk them naturally. The bridge may come as delay that later reveals itself as protection. The outer man may say nothing is happening, while life is arranging what he cannot see. A door may close because another is forming. A person may withdraw because another channel is opening. A plan may fail because the fulfilled state requires a better road. The unawakened man panics at every movement. The awakened man returns to the state and lets the bridge unfold. You do not command the bridge, you command the end. If you command the end, the bridge may surprise you. It often does. I have seen men receive through channels they would never have chosen. I have seen relationships restored through a single ordinary conversation. I have seen debts dissolved through arrangements no one expected. I have seen men moved across distances by what seemed like a chance invitation. I have seen one sentence, one meeting, one decision, one letter become the turning point. But none of these was the cause. The state was the cause. The incident was the bridge. Do not confuse the bridge with the command. The command is within. The bridge is the unfolding. The command is consciousness. The bridge is appearance. The command is the seed. The bridge is the stem pushing through the soil. The command is the voice. The bridge is the echo returning through time. Once the command is accepted, the road begins to arrange itself. Let that bring you rest. You do not need to lie awake designing the road. The outer mind cannot design it fully. It knows too little. It sees too little. It remembers too much of the old state. Its plans are often built from fear, from habit, from what seems possible to the senses. But consciousness is not bound by the senses. The accepted state draws from a deeper order. It moves through minds, through circumstances, through impulses, through timing, through what men call coincidence, though there is no coincidence in a world that is consciousness objectified. When you assume the end, you may become one of the instruments in your own bridge. This is important. You are not outside the bridge watching it happen. The state may move you. It may change your speech. It may change your posture. It may change what you tolerate. It may change what you notice. It may change what you choose. It may change what you no longer fear. And because you change, the world around you changes in response. A man in the old state may walk past an opportunity and never see it. The same man in the new state may recognize it immediately. Was the opportunity new, or was the man new? A woman in the old state may hear affection and mistrust it. The same woman in the new state may receive it calmly. Was love absent before, or was she unable to receive it from the old state? A man in fear may reject a simple step because it does not look important enough. The same man in faith may take it and discover it was the beginning of the road. The bridge often comes dressed as ordinary life, so do not demand that life appear spectacular before you trust it. The spectacular may come, but it is not necessary. The law does not need drama, it needs acceptance. If you have accepted the end, then the next ordinary movement may be sacred. The next conversation may be part of the road. The next peaceful impulse may be part of the road. The next letter, the next meeting, the next idea, the next quiet decision may be life translating the command. But do not look too early. The seed beneath the ground does not need you to stare at the soil. The infant idea within consciousness does not need your anxious inspection. When you look too early, you often look from fear. You say, has it begun? Is this it? Did I miss it? That state is not fulfillment. That state is waiting, and waiting, if accepted, becomes another command. Therefore, after you assume, return to rest. Let life bring the bridge to you, as naturally as morning follows night. If you must do something, be faithful to the end. If you must think, think from the end. If you must act, act from the end. If you must wait, wait as one who has, not as one who lacks. There is a waiting that is full of absence, and there is a waiting that is simply the calm unfolding of what is already accepted. The first is anxiety. The second is Sabbath. The Sabbath does not mean nothing moves. It means you no longer move from doubt. It means the inner work is done. It means you have ceased trying to build the bridge with your frightened hands. It means you trust that life, which is consciousness expressed, knows how to answer consciousness accepted. Life builds the bridge from the state you occupy. Let this become very intimate now. Whatever your desire may be, you do not have to know how it will come. You do not have to know who will be moved. You do not have to know what letter will arrive. You do not have to know what conversation will open. You do not have to know what idea will come in the morning. You do not have to know what mood will shift. You do not have to know what event will seem accidental, but prove essential. You only need to know the end. If the end is love, sleep as loved. If the end is supply, sleep as supplied. If the end is freedom, sleep as free. If the end is peace, sleep as peace. If the end is success, sleep as established. If the end is wholeness, sleep as whole. Command the end. Let the bridge form. You do not. This is a great relief if you allow it. It removes the burden of figuring out everything. It removes the burden of trying to control every person. It removes the burden of watching every hour. It removes the burden of forcing life through one narrow channel. You give the command in consciousness, and life begins its translation. The command may be, I am the one who has. The bridge may be a conversation. The command may be, I am supplied. The bridge may be an idea, an opportunity, a letter, a remembered contact, a new arrangement. The command may be, I am loved. The bridge may be a change in tone, a softened heart, a meeting, a return, a new openness. The command may be, I am free. The bridge may be a decision, a release, a door, a sudden courage, a peaceful refusal. The command may be, I am established. The bridge may be work, recognition, guidance, preparation, timing, and the right words spoken at the right hour. Your work is not to worship the bridge. Your work is to remain in the state that builds it. Once the command is accepted, the road begins to arrange itself. Even now, as you listen, you do not know what the road may be, and you do not need to know. The unknown road is not emptiness. It is the field where the state will express itself. The darkness of night is not empty either. It is full of hidden processes. The body repairs in sleep without your command of every cell. The seed grows in darkness without the farmer pulling it upward. The heart beats without your instruction. Life knows how to move in hiddenness. Trust this same hiddenness with your assumption. The bridge is hidden at first because the deep works beneath the surface. It does not need to announce itself to the senses at once. Let the hidden be holy. Let the unseen be trusted. Let the ordinary become suspect with possibility. Not anxious suspicion, but sacred possibility. The next simple thing may be part of the road. The next calm impulse may be part of the road. The next conversation may be part of the road. But you need not identify it too soon. Live from the end and walk naturally. When the bridge appears, it may not feel like a bridge. It may feel like something you simply do, something you simply say, somewhere you simply go, someone you simply meet, a change you simply allow. Later, looking back, you will see how each part was joined to another. But while you walk it, it may feel ordinary. That is the beauty of it. Fulfillment often arrives naturally when the state has become natural. The bridge often comes dressed as ordinary life. So rest now in unseen movement. Rest in the knowledge that accepted consciousness is not idle. Rest in the assurance that the command has not fallen into emptiness. It has entered the deep. And from the deep, life begins to move. You need not manage the bridge tonight. You need not design the road tonight. You need not inspect the soil tonight. You need not ask which event will carry your wish. You need only return to the end. I am the one who has. I am supplied. I am loved. I am free. I am established. I am whole. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is building the bridge from the state I occupy. Let that thought become soft. Let it become restful. Let it take the weight from your mind. The road is not your burden. The state is your choice. Choose the state, and the road begins to arrange. Choose the end, and the bridge begins to form. Choose possession, and life begins to translate possession into experience. Once the command is accepted, the road begins to arrange itself. Let the road arrange. Let the bridge form. Let life wear ordinary garments while carrying extraordinary fulfillment. Let the unseen move, and sleep as the one who has already given the command. And now, as the night grows deeper, let every teaching become quiet within you. Let every idea soften. Let every word descend. You do not need to think now. You do not need to understand more. You do not need to gather more instructions. The mind has heard enough. The heart has received enough. The body may now rest. The command has been accepted. Let that be enough. The command has been accepted, not by force, not by strain, not by desperate effort. It has been accepted in the quiet place within you, in the inner chamber where all things begin. You do not have to shout it. You do not have to prove it. You do not have to hold it tightly. The command has been given, and the deep has received it. Let the body become heavier now. Let the hands rest. Let the face soften. Let the breath move slowly, gently, without effort. There is nothing to chase in this moment. There is nothing to repair in this moment. There is nothing to force in this moment. You may release the day. You may release the old questions. You may release the need to know how. You may release the need to know when. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Let these words become soft, almost like a distant sound. Do not try to grasp them. Let them pass through you slowly. Let them settle in the body. Let them become a feeling rather than a thought. My wish is fulfilled within me. It is not far. It is not outside. It is not waiting for permission. It is fulfilled within me now. My wish is fulfilled within me. The command has been accepted. Life is answering now, not later in consciousness, now, not after fear has been satisfied, now, not after the senses have agreed. Now, life is answering now because consciousness has accepted the end. The seed has entered the deep, the order has been received, the state has been chosen. The inner man has moved into fulfillment. Life is answering now. The world will follow. The world will follow because the world is faithful. The world will follow because consciousness is cause. The world will follow because the shadow cannot lead the substance. The world will follow because the reflection cannot move first. The world will follow because the command has been accepted where all true movement begins. The world will follow. Do not disturb the seed. Do not question the night. Do not ask the silence to explain itself. The silence is working. The deep is receiving. The unseen is arranging. The command has been accepted. I sleep as the one who has. Let this be the final identity of the night. I sleep as the one who has, not as the one who waits, not as the one who begs, not as the one who fears being forgotten, not as the one who must chase life through the dark. I sleep as the one who has. I sleep as the one who has. I sleep as the one who has. Let the breath become the proof of it. A slow breath in, a slow breath out. Nothing missing in this moment, nothing to force in this moment, nothing to demand in this moment. The body rests as one who has. The mind becomes quiet as one who has. The heart releases its old hunger as one who has. I rest, I receive. I am. I rest, I receive. I am. Let those words become the rhythm. I rest, I receive. I am. No effort now. No search. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. If any thought rises, let it pass softly. There is no need to follow it. If an old fear appears, let it fade into the night. It has no authority now unless you give it your name. Do not give it your name. Your name tonight is fulfilled. Your name tonight is chosen. Your name tonight is supplied. Your name tonight is free. Your name tonight is peace. I am peace. I am fulfilled. The command has been accepted. Let the old world become distant. Let old conversations become distant. Let old disappointments become distant. Let old waiting become distant. They are not your command now. They are not your state now. They are not your home now. You have entered another dwelling. You have entered the end. You have entered the quiet authority of already done, already accepted, already fulfilled within me, already mine in consciousness, already moving, already answered. Let the word already become gentle, not urgent, not loud. Already, already, already. The wish is no longer standing outside the gate. It has entered the inner man. It has become accepted. The command has been accepted. The body may rest now. The mind may rest now. The heart may rest now. The world will follow. The world will follow in its own way. The world will follow through roads you need not see tonight. The world will follow through conversations, through letters, through meetings, through ideas, through softened hearts, through changed moods, through open doors, through quiet movements of life. But none of that is your burden now. You do not need to manage the road. You do not need to watch the bridge. You do not need to keep the seed awake. Sleep. Sleep as the one who has. Sleep as the one whose wish is fulfilled. Sleep as the one whose command has been received. Sleep as the one life is answering now. I sleep as the one who has. I sleep as the one who has. I sleep as the one who has. Feel how simple it is when the struggle falls away. There is no need to reach. There is no need to lean forward. There is no need to hold the breath. The fulfilled state does not strain. It rests. It is quiet. It receives. It allows life to answer. I rest. I receive. I am. I rest in the fulfilled state. I receive the answer of life. Let the room fade more deeply now. Let the edges of the body soften. Let the bed hold you. Let the night become friendly. Let the silence become safe. You are not falling into emptiness. You are sinking into the deep, where the command has been accepted. Sleep is not taking you away from your wish. Sleep is carrying your wish deeper into consciousness. Sleep carries the command. Sleep receives the state. Sleep seals the feeling. Sleep carries the words beneath words. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. Let this be repeated without force. Let it become slower. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. Again, softer. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. And now, even softer. Accepted, fulfilled, answering, done, following. The words may become fewer. As sleep comes near, that is all right. The feeling remains. The command remains. The state remains. The deep has heard. The inner man has accepted. Life is answering now. You do not need to think of the whole desire. You do not need to picture every detail. You do not need to hold a perfect image. Only rest in the feeling. Rest in the sense that the matter is settled. Rest in the relief of already. Rest in the quiet knowing that what is accepted in consciousness must seek expression in life. It is done in consciousness. This is enough. It is done in consciousness. This is the cause. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. If your wish is love, sleep as loved, not seeking love, not asking whether love remembers you. Loved, already loved, naturally loved, quietly loved, safely loved. Sleep as the one who is chosen. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. If your wish is supply, sleep as supplied, not counting lack, not fearing tomorrow. Supplied, already supplied, naturally supplied, quietly provided for, held by the state of enough. Sleep as the one whose needs are met. I am supplied. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. If your wish is peace, sleep as already peace, natural peace. The body softens, the breath slows, the heart grows quiet. Sleep as the one who is safe within. I am peace. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. If your wish is freedom, sleep as free. Not waiting for permission, not looking at chains. Free, already free, inwardly free, naturally free. The burden is no longer your name. Sleep as the one who has stepped into. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. If your wish is success, sleep as established. Not proving, not begging for recognition. Established, already established. Naturally belonging, quietly accepted in the fulfilled role. Sleep as the one who has taken his place. I am established. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. If your wish is healing or wholeness, sleep as whole, not wrestling with, already whole in consciousness, the body resting in the state of ease, the breath moving softly. Sleep as the one who is remembered by wholeness. I am whole. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. And if you do not name the wish tonight, that is also well. The deep knows, your consciousness knows. You may simply sleep as the one who has. You may simply rest in the fulfilled state. You may simply allow the command to remain wordless. I sleep as the one who has. I sleep as the one who has. I sleep as the one who has. The mind may now loosen. The thoughts may become slow and scattered. Let them. You need not gather them. You need not make a lesson from them now. You need not finish any inner sentence. The command has already been accepted. The wish is already fulfilled within. The world will follow. Let everything become simple. Rest, receive, be. Rest, receive, be. I rest, I receive, I. There is no urgency now. Urgency belonged to the old state. There is no chasing now. Chasing belonged to the old state. There is no begging now. Begging belonged to the old state. There is no watching for proof now. Watching belonged to the old state. Tonight, the new state is quiet possession, quiet certainty, quiet fulfillment. The command has been accepted. Let the chest soften around this. Let the stomach release around this. Let the throat relax around this. Let the forehead smooth around this. Let the eyes rest behind closed lids. Let the hands be still. Let the whole body receive the meaning. There is nothing to force. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. Let the world follow while you rest. Let life answer while you sleep. Let the deep arrange what the waking mind need not arrange. Let the road form in hiddenness. Let the bridge build itself from the state you have accepted. Let the night do its silent work. You are not responsible for every step. You are responsible only for the state. And the state tonight is fulfilled. Fulfilled, fulfilled, fulfilled. Not someday, within. Not distant, within. Not withheld, within. My wish is fulfilled within me. I am the one who has, the command has been accepted. Life is answering now. And if sleep is near, welcome it. Do not hold yourself awake to finish the thought. The thought has done its work. The feeling is enough. Sleep may take the feeling. Sleep may carry it beyond the reach of words. Sleep may take the command into the depth where the outer mind cannot interfere. Allow sleep. Allow rest. Allow receiving. I rest. I receive. I am. I rest. I receive. I am. The old self may try to call from far away. It may whisper of delay. It may whisper of fear. It may whisper of let it be far. You do not have to answer it. You do not have to return to it. You do not have to carry it into sleep. You have chosen another name. I am fulfilled. I am loved. I am supplied. I am free. I am whole. I am at peace. I am the one who has. The command has been accepted. The command has been accepted. The command has been accepted. Let this repeat like a soft wave. The command has been accepted. The command has been accepted. The command has been accepted. Each repetition more rest. Each repetition less like words, more like knowing. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. The world will follow. The world will follow. You do not have to make the world follow. The world follows consciousness. You do not have to pull the reflection. The reflection follows the face. You do not have to chase the echo. The echo follows the voice. You do not have to command the shadow. The shadow follows the substance. You have changed the substance within. The world will follow. Rest in that. Rest so deeply that the question when becomes unnecessary. Rest so deeply that the question how becomes unnecessary. Rest so deeply that the question whether becomes unnecessary. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. I sleep as the one who has. Let the phrase become slower now. I sleep as the one who has a soft breath. I sleep as the one who has a heavier body. I sleep as the one who has a quieter mind. I sleep as the one who has a peaceful heart. And now, perhaps only this remains. I have, I am, I rest. I have, I am, I rest. Or even less, I am, I am, I am. Before the wish, I am. Within the wish, I am. I am the one who has. I am the one who receives. I am the one whose wish is fulfilled. I am the one who sleeps in possession. I am the one life now answers. The command has been accepted. Let the words dissolve into silence. Let the silence hold the meaning. Let the body sleep in the meaning. Let the night carry the meaning. Let the deep keep the meaning. No more effort. No more chasing. No more pleading. No more fear. Only rest. Only receiving. Only I am. The command has been accepted. My wish is fulfilled within me. Life is answering now. It is done in consciousness. The world will follow. I sleep as the one who has. I rest. I receive. I am. And now, rest. Rest in the fulfilled state. Rest in the command accepted. Rest in the wish fulfilled within. Rest in the certainty that life is answering now. Rest in the quiet truth that it is done in consciousness. Rest in the peace that the world will follow. Rest as the one who has. Rest. I receive. I am. The command has been accepted. Sleep now as the one who has